I just downloaded them.
So let me bring the group over here and show y'all where the images is. Give me 1 second, because each one teach one and no one left behind.
Yeah, it looks like it's recorded now, Kevin.
So, real quick question. I
Yes.
just uploaded the file that you're using into Silhouette, and this has never happened to me before. But once I uploaded it into Silhouette, you see like your white background. My white background shrunk to the size of the file that I brought in. Like my whole background's not white. I'm seeing part of the grid, and then half of it is the white with the logo.
The logo probably came over real big, so just highlight the logo and just size it down.
Let's see. Nope, that didn't change it.
Share your screen.
Hold on.
What is this program you're using?
Silhouette Business.
Okay, cool.
Can you? Oh, hold on. Here we go.
Hey, can you hear me?
That's what it did right there.
All right, so go on the left hand corner for me. Click on the top one for me on the right hand corner. It should say page setup.
Okay.
All right, go down to media size.
Okay.
Click on auto 12 by 12 for me.
Hey, can you hear me?
Thank you. That's never happened to me before.
You're welcome. Hey, D. Hi.
How you doing? Hey,
I'm
I've been here this
fine.
whole time, but I gotta get going because I got class tonight.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even see you here. I'm so sorry. So, guys, real quick, this is D. This is our Blender expert. Okay, this is our third person. So I'm sorry he's been here. I didn't introduce him like I was supposed to, but the next time, I'm sorry, D. Just call me when you're done with class.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. So we good now, guys?
No, you was gonna show me on Facebook, but I see it in the actual. Well, I downloaded it because I see it in the actual where you.
All right. So if you click in here, if you click in files, they're right here.
Yeah, when I click files, it said nothing is there.
Just
so
real quick, because there's several people asking. As soon as this presentation's done with Silhouette Studio and Tinkercad, we're going to be doing the exact same demonstration in Inkscape. Of course, Inkscape is totally free. So, but we'll show you how to do it in Inkscape as well for those that are not using Silhouette.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, guys.
Mr. Kevin, can you let me in on my laptop, please?
I'm letting people in as soon as I don't see any pending requests. So you'd have to ask if you let in.
Maybe I need to hang up from my phone too. Okay.
I see one coming in just now, but
you don't see any files on Trendsetters. Yeah, they're right here. Can y'all see my screen? They're right here. But let me see if
we can see you.
Yeah, they're in there under files.
Yeah, I probably got to refresh you.
They can't see it, but I did download it. If they go down, it's in the chat. It's at the top. So
let me see if I can upload them here.
I can see them and download them, but when I try to put it in Silhouette, it's grayed out and won't let me put it in.
So Silhouette is not letting you bring them in?
It's grayed out.
Could that be an issue with not having the business edition?
That could be. It could be because it's a SVG. You gotta have business edition.
You gotta have business edition in order to do that in Silhouette.
Yeah. You gotta have business. Okay. I don't like this.
Mine is opening up like it's trying to take me into Inkscape.
That's because that's what you have, and it's a SVG, and you probably don't have a Silhouette business.
I do have Silhouette business.
You do?
Yes.
So
I don't have Inkscape.
Mine opened up in something else, but it still was in my downloads when I went to Silhouette.
All right,
So she probably
don't try to
gotta
open it up. Don't try to open it up. Open up Silhouette Business for me. And then go in the file and click and merge it in. Because I'm gonna merge the other one in. So I'm clicking on the other one. Okay. And this is how it comes in. It comes in big like this. So I'm gonna just zoom out of my screen. Since the last one's highlighted, well, I'm gonna just move that out the way. This is one word. Let me move this out the way first. And then I'm going to delete that for y'all. Show y'all by yourself. All right. So file, merge. We'll bring 49 in. Okay. And it comes over like that. So because I know it's a SVG and the parts to be separate, I'm going to highlight all of it and just shrink it down to fit my size I need. And just zoom back in. So is everybody good yet? Oh, you only have the basic. Okay, so
yes, I'm good.
All right, so listen. So just follow me. Those of you who can follow me in Silhouette Business, follow me. Because once I'm done, Inkscape is a totally free software. Soon as I'm done with how I do it in Inkscape and Tinkercad and Silhouette, Kev is going to do it in Inkscape for y'all. Okay? All right, I just want to get this done because I didn't want to do 4 hours tonight. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I got a lot to get done, and we already are over an hour
hour and a half almost.
Yes, I know. All right, so I got orders and stuff to work on. I gotta go. All right, so when it comes to your mirrors, right, your hand mirrors, there is no set measurement. I am not going to sit here and tell y'all I measure everything because I don't. I am an eyeball person. I'm not going to lie. If it looks right to me, it feels right to me. So you basically would just play with, how you want your handle, how big you want your handle of your mirror to be. So I'm going to come up just a little. All right. So about I would say about 5 inches in height, and about maybe a little under 2 inches in width. I really don't pay attention to these measurements over here because in 3D, for real, everything is in millimeters. So I don't really, like I said, I just eyeball it because inches will throw you off when it comes to 3D because everything is done in millimeters. So like I said, I just kind of just eyeball it. And if it looks right to me, it's okay to me. So I'm going to highlight everything. We're going to come over here on the right-hand side and we're going to get the offset tool. Once I click on that, I'm going to click on offset. This is not the one. This is the one you were doing for the lamp, wasn't it? It was. Yeah, it was. I don't like that offset, so I'm going to delete that one because that one's too big. I forgot I was doing the other design. This one. We was doing this one for the lamp. That's right. All right, move that one out. I mean, for the mirror. We're going to bring this one back. I'm sorry. We're going with this one. Hold down the shift key. Turn this one to the side. And then we're going to shrink this a little. And I'm about satisfied with that. I'm okay with that. So we're going to group this together before we do our offset. So then once we group that together, we're going to get our offset tool. Then we're going to click on offset. I don't like that offset. So let's take that down. That's too much. That offset was too much. So let me see. Might come down just a little bit.
Weld your letters first.
Huh?
Either weld or attach your letters first if you want it just on the outside.
What, the offset?
No, your words, your unapologetic delta.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's just offsetting each letter. So if you just wanted to offset the outside, then
No,
weld
it's going to offset it. It's going to do it. You see?
Okay, looking,
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, once you get it, so my offset was, I think it was like, let's go back. Hold on. I want y'all to get the right offset, but you can play with it. It's not, nothing is golden as far as like, what you decide is your liking, how it looks to you. So I am satisfied with that. I might come up just a little bit. Let me see. I am. All right, and then click apply. And then when you see these happen, all you got to do is click on it, right click on your mouse, release compound path. Click out of it, click on them little pieces inside that you want to remove, click on it and just click delete. And that gets rid of those little pieces inside. So now we have our handle. This would be our handle. I'm going to just move that in a little bit. All right.
Can you zoom in just a little bit so that we can see it a little better? There you go. Thanks.
No problem. All right, so now we're going to come on the left side. We're going to get the ellipse tool. Hold down the shift key. Come over here. Round. Get this one right here. Hold down the shift key. Our mirror is 4 inches. So you can come up here, type in 4 for width. Well, unlock it. Type in 4 for width, 4 for height. And now you got your 4-inch circle. That's going to be your mirror. That's where your mirror is going to go. Make sure you uncheck that tool over there on the left too as well once you're done with it. So then you're going to just come over here and align this up accordingly, okay? However you want it. And then once you line it up, we're going to just move our words away for a second. We're going to highlight both of these. We're going to right click and we're going to weld them together and make that one piece. So now that is our entire mirror. Okay.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So for the circle,
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong as far as the numbers, because like it's the number on the circle is 1.9, but the number of where you put the 3 and 3 in, but the number on the circle is different. So why is that? Like my circle
silhouette. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like my circle is 1.93, but the height and the width is reading 3, is reading 3, but the numbers on the circle is something different.
All right.
Did you convert it to a path?
For the circle?
So you're saying your circle, so when you go to put your 4 in, the sizes, the numbers changing, did you unlock it?
Yes, unlocked. It's unlocked. And so like your circle don't got no numbers on it, do it? Like mine got numbers on it. I wonder why.
Right here. You see my 4 right there? You talking about right there?
No, it's like one, like it's a line in the middle of my circle and it say 1 point
It's
whatever,
giving her
whatever.
the diameter just from the middle radius of the circle to the outside.
Right. Okay. So the width and the height should be 3 and 3. That makes it correct.
No, the width and height should be 4 and 4 right here.
But if my mirrors are 3.
Yeah, well, yes. Whatever size mirror you're using.
It should be 3.
Yes, it should be 3. I'm doing 4. I have 4-inch mirrors. So if you have 3-inch mirrors, then go ahead and put 3 in your numbers. If your mirrors are 2-inch, you can whatever size your mirror is, that's what your number should be. Okay. All right. So let's go back. We're gonna leave this to the side because it should be grouped together. But we're gonna leave that to the slide.
Or group.
Let's go ahead and create an offset on our mirror. So this will be our background. So you can click right here on the inside one and go ahead and color that one. I will do like gray just to make sure you know that's your mirror. And the offset is going to be the outside. Now you can create however many offsets to your mirror. It's totally up to you. It's your liking. So then I would do one more offset.
How do you offset the mirror if you've already welded it?
Well, I'm welded, so I went back when she needed me to stop to get the circle right. I unwelded it and we started over. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, so since we're doing delta, we're gonna color this red. Then we're gonna color that white, and then now we're gonna take the white part and the handle part, and we're gonna weld those two together. Well, those two together, and then you can come back and bring your words to the front. So right click your words and bring those to the front. And then you just line your words back up accordingly. And just like that, you have the basic design of your mirror right here. Don't that look amazing? Look how good that look already. And you ain't even finished yet.
Yeah, that look good.
Yeah. So you can see the vision in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on the outer part first. We're gonna export that first. So normally what I do is I have a folder on my desktop when I'm making my design. So whatever design I'm working on, I would label it on my desktop. So I would just come here and right click and click new, click on folder, and we're working on let's say Delta Mirror. So I'm gonna say Delta Mirror. So then we're gonna come back over in Silhouette. So we got our outside highlighted. We're gonna click on File. We're gonna click Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive. We're gonna go to our desktop and we're gonna click on our Delta Mirror folder. We're gonna change this from Silhouette Studio to SVG. All right. And then we're going to name this, you can say white background, white offset, whatever you want. White back is fine for me. Once you save that, backspace gets rid of that piece. So then you click on the red part. We're going to File, Save As, save selection, save the hard drive, our Delta file. We're going to name this Red Circle. Red Circle. All right, and backspace. Then we're going to click on this. We're going to title this one, you can say Mirror. Put gray if you want. Backspace, that gets rid of that. And then we group that together. We're going to bring over our words. SVG. And we're going to say red words. We're going to call these red words. That's it. Why is it going in there like that? But okay, whatever.
I think I want to say something with that too. The word, all the stuff that you on there, I think it's going to the desktop.
I know. I seen it. It is. I don't know why it's doing that. I just noticed that.
If you push Control, you on the Windows computer. If you push Control A, and then unselect that folder, you can right click and say cut, and then you go into that folder, you push Control V to paste, and it'll actually be in that folder.
Yeah, put all these. Hold on. Let me go ahead and put that in there. Move that there. And move that there. All right, I think we got all our images now. Yeah, we got them. So we got the back, the red circle, the mirror, and the word. So we got all our images right here. So you can backspace, clear that out. You can actually close out a silhouette because you don't even need it no more once you do that. So now you want to come to the internet. And we are going to go to Tinkercad. Tinkercad is a completely free software. Oh my God. Am I not logged in Tinkercad up here? Is it going to make? Yes, it's going to make me log in. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let me log in up here. I didn't know I wasn't logged. What did I design in yesterday? How am I not logged into Tinker? Hold on. Oh, that's why. Because I was on my wrong profile. Okay, here we go.
Excuse me, will it be a recording for this?
Yes, it will. It'll be on Kev's YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, I had to get signed in to Tinker, y'all. Okay. All right, so you come up here. Once you signed in to Tinker, it's completely free. You click on create. We're going to create 3D design. So the first thing we're going to click on import up here in the right hand corner. We're going to click on choose file. We're going to go to our Delta mirror file. Where's the words? Why ain't the words in there? Oh my God. Okay, I gotta go back and get the words. But we're gonna bring the white back in. It's on artboard, import. We're gonna drop our work plane right here because we're gonna hit import, and the next one we're gonna click choose file. We're gonna bring in, where the freak is the, I didn't save. Well, where'd the mirror go? The red mirror. Hold on, where our red mirror go, y'all? It's right there.
It saved it in the silhouette file instead of an
SVG. Yeah. All right, let's go back. Let's go back, y'all. Don't be at me. I haven't eaten yet today, y'all. So that's what I'm gonna blame it on because I'm hangry. All right, let's go back and get our red circle. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and save it. And it's that simple, y'all, to fix it. It's not that deep. You ain't got to get all bent out of shape and feel like you did nothing wrong and go crazy. Players mess up all the time. You hear me? All right. So now let's go back to Tinker. All right. So we're going to go back to Tinker. Choose file. Let's get our red circle. So when it comes in like this, y'all, just hold down the right thing on the mouse pad and go under your work plane. You click on it. Like I said, just slow down, y'all. We ain't in no rush. Where is it going? So make sure the color that you know it is, make sure that is highlighted over here on the right, because you know you are on the right thing. You're going to click D on your keyboard, the letter D, and then you're going to click inside this square right here. You're going to change that from 10, and we're going to bring that down to 5. So this is how this should look for you right now. That's how that should look. So once we get that size down, you can go ahead and click back on it and take the quality up to 24. Click on your handle as well. Take your quality up to 24. I have no issues with changing my quality, whether I do it now or later. So, yeah, I'm doing what works for me, that I don't have any, that doesn't give me issues. You can go ahead and change the color to your pieces now if you want to as well. So we're going to go ahead and throw down our work plane on top of here, because now we're going to go to import and we're going to bring in our gray mirror. So click on import, bring in that gray mirror. And like I said, you can hold down the right thing on the mouse pad and click on it. And then we're going to click D on the keyboard to bring it up to the work plane. And we're going to bring that up to 24. And then we're going to change this color to gray. All right, now we're going to change this. We're going to change this. We're going to click on this and change this to a hole, okay? Because that's the mirror part. So we want our mirror to fit down inside of here. So you can click, actually, we're going to turn that back solid first. Then click on the red. We're going to turn the red into a hole so we can see where it's at inside of here, okay? So you see how that's a perfect angle right there. So you come and click on the mirror. Make sure you click on the triangle up top, and we're going to slide that down inside of there for it to fit accordingly. And I like that. That's perfect for me. So we know that indent that we're going to put in right there, that's where the mirror is going to go at on the inside. And like I said, you play with it with your height. It's not, there's nothing that says that, you know, it's a specific way to do it. So
can you do that one over again? I'm sorry.
All right. So we're going to turn our red part into a hole and turn the top part into a solid, just so we can see how to line it up inside of here. And click on the top piece, the mirror piece, and you're going to drag that down inside of there to fit accordingly to how you like it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. No problem. All right. So now you can go ahead and turn. Once you get that size properly, you can go ahead and turn that back into a solid. And then when we do the mirror part, we'll get there. Now take your work plane, put your work plane on the handle, because now we're going to bring the words in. Once you put your work plane on the handle, go to import, click choose file, click on red words, open, import. All right. We're going to go under. We're going to click on, and you see how I clicked on that and it's white. So I'm not clicked on my word. So that's why I said patience is always key in 3D, y'all. We got to be patient. So hit the D, bring it up. And we're going to click on the inside and change that to, what did we make this one? 5.
And you working in millimeters or yeah?
Yes. So that's why I said 3D. Don't pay attention to inches, because everything with 3D is in millimeters. Everything. So once you size that, to match the line up with the red circle. Once you got that, you can click on that. You can change the color. Now, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I really don't. This just helps you. Changing the colors just helps you with piecing your project together, to be honest with you, because I still have to paint my models when I bring them in bamboo. So I really don't pay attention to that. But if you do, because I know others may have learned certain ways and other ways, we'll just go through the process. But you can color in here. But I really don't. So once you're done, bring your words in, you color them, you change your quality, bring that up to 24. We're going to get a work plane and we're going to put that on the bottom. All right. And now we have our mirror. So now we're going to turn our mirror part into the hole.
Can I ask why you put the work plane on the bottom just now?
Yes, that completes the project. We're done importing.
Oh, okay.
It brings it together. So, so now click on your hole, the mirror part, and then hold down the shift key and click the red mirror part. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to union group that together. So once you union group that, voila, magic. It puts your mirror hole in there for you. And just
I think it's your base, your white part.
So the white comes in. I didn't change the white. The white comes in at 10 mm. So the white comes in at 10 mm. I changed this one to 5 mm. And I don't change the one on the top because we're not doing nothing but slicing the hole anyway. So that gray part is only to be able to slice the hole. So, and just like that, we have our mirror. So now
I can't get to my gray part for some reason.
You can't? What's wrong?
Every time I try to click on it, it's clicking on the red. So I don't know if I went. I see it sticking up. I can't get to my gray.
All right, don't worry about it. So guess what? Each one teach one. No man left behind. No man left behind. I'm gonna delete because I lost you somewhere. So we're gonna start over.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Because I got it.
I love
don't
that
know what
you
I
just did that. I love that. No, thank you so much for doing that.
No problem.
No,
Yeah, I like that.
Wait, can you please go back?
Yes, ma'am. What's wrong?
Okay, so what happened was when I was saving them in Silhouette individually, for some reason it was saving all together.
Okay.
So I try to go back and do it individually, but then I lost you where you was doing the sizes.
Don't worry about it.
The same thing.
Don't worry about it. So guess what? Don't worry about it. It takes a few minutes to do this. This is simple. Patience is key, and that's something that I have. Patience.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely. So we're gonna import the white. So we brought the white in. So when we click on our white, as you see, it came in as 10 mm is thickness. We're not going to change that. We're going to take our quality up to 24. Let's go ahead and click on the color and let's change that to white now. So then we're going to come to the right. We're going to grab us a work plane tool and we're going to drop it right here because that's where the red circle is going to go. This is the area we want to work in. So once you drop your work plane right there in that circle, come back to import, choose file, and let's get red circle. Click on open, import. So we're going to go to the bottom. We're going to click on it. It's gold, so we know we have the right thing. You're going to click D on your keyboard, the letter D. Once you click the letter D, you're going to come in here, click on the middle, and you're going to change the 10 to 5. Press enter. We're going to bring our quality up to 24. We're going to come up here to gold and change that to red. We'll change that to red. Then we're going to come get our work plane. We're going to put it on top of the red because that's where our mirror we getting ready to import go. Once we drop the work plane on the red, we come back to import, choose file, mirror gray, open, import. We're going to go to the bottom. We're going to click on it. We're going to click D on our keyboard. We're not going to change the size of that because remember, we're only using that as a whole. So we're going to change our quality up to 24. We're going to go ahead and get a work plane. We're going to go ahead and put our work plane in the handle area right here because that's where our words are going to go. We're going to click import, choose file, red words, open, import. We're going to go under our project, click on it, click D, and then we're going to click in the middle. We're going to change the 10 to 5 so it'll match the mirror, the red circle. It'll be aligned with the red circle. We're going to turn the quality up to 24, change the color to red. Click out of it. We're going to grab a plain work plane and we're going to seal it up and drop it on anywhere in the back somewhere. So now our project's complete. So we're going to come here. We're going to turn our mirror into a hole. Well, actually, we're going to turn the bottom, the red one, into a hole first and leave the top one as a solid so we can get in there and see where we want our mirror to sit at in there. And you just come in here and scroll that down and into your liking. And once you have it in there the way you like it, once you have it in there, you're going to come out, turn that to a hole, and then you're going to put that part back as a solid. And then we're going to click the red circle in the hole, and we're going to union group it together. I went too far down. That's why I cut mine out completely. Okay. And just like that, that's your hole for your mirror. Just like that. So then you can click on the part and you click here. So Kev is teaching me millimeters. I'm learning, but you can click here and this will give you an idea of the size of it. So if you feel like your printer's not big enough, if you got to play with your sizes, you know, you can go over there and, you know what I mean, size it down. But here you can see your height and stuff. So 243. What is that, Kev? 243. So 75. Okay, 150. Okay, that's 6. So this is about 9, I think. Like 9 inches, 9 inches, something like that. I'm not there yet with millimeters.
It's 9.5.
Okay, all right. So there you have it. So this is 9.5 right here. So this would definitely fit a A1 and up. Will definitely fit a plate A1 and up. Because our plates are 256. So we know off the rip it's 243 right there. So we know our mirror's good size. So once we got our mirror the size that we want, once we got everything in, we got our hole in there, we're going to click on export.
And everybody can always get a converter to turn your millimeters into inches.
Yeah, I know. You can do that right here. Let me show y'all. You can do
I'm
that
about
right
to
here.
say you could do it in there.
You could do it right here.
You can
Turn
at
it
the
to
bottom.
Emperor. Turn it
Yeah,
to
you
Emperor.
can.
But the reason I don't do it is because, like I said, everything's in millimeters. So this forces you to have to learn and deal with millimeters because everything, that's why I said you'll get to a point where you'll be able to start eyeballing it. So I might not be good with the millimeters, but I can eyeball. I know what 2 mm look like. I know what 5 mm look like. I know what 86 mm look like. I know what 76 mm look like. You know what I'm saying? Because I design so many different types of files. So you can definitely come in here and change it to inches, but I don't recommend it because everything else we deal with is in millimeters. So you don't want to be confusing yourself like that. But it's totally up to you. It's your preference. if I do change it to inches, it's only because I don't feel like trying to convert it in my head like I was just doing. And I'll come over here and I'll say, okay, I'll change it to inches just to come peek and make sure I'm good. And then I'll come back and I'll change it right back over to metric. Right back
Maya,
over. Yes.
let me tell you a little cheat thing. What I did when Kevin was when I was watching his videos, I went to chat and I had I had my bestie convert from 1 inch to 1.5 to 2, all the way down to 20, and then put millimeters on the side. I printed it out and then taped it on my wall.
Thank you so much, Frank. Can you send it to me?
I sure can.
Thank you.
That's
Bookie.
what I was saying. They have a
Can
thing
you
where you could
repeat
just
that
type
again?
in it.
There's 20, just so you know, there's 25, roughly 25 millimeters to an inch. It's really 25.4 millimeters to an inch. So if you think of it that way, you know, it's a quarter, a dollar. So 4 inches would be $1. 4 inches would be 100 millimeters. So.
Okay.
And they have convertible choice that you could just type in converted choice from millimeter to inches and you could print it out.
Okay. All right. So once we're done putting our hole in our mirror, we got our hole there. We're going to go ahead and export. I export as STL because no matter if I bring it in as an OBJ or not, I still always end up having to paint my models. Okay. Now, what works for other people, that is on them. But I am telling y'all what works for me. So I download as a STL.
What's an OBJ?
That's where the colors coming in automatic.
Yeah, it's just another 3D file format like 3MF.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to click on our mirror. We're going to come up here and go to the paint tool. And we are going to go red there, white there. Oopsies.
The Odyssey, largest screens on sale tomorrow.
And just click on it and just paint it. This is how simple these mirrors are. And like I said, you get a 12 pack for $6.99. And I sell these mirrors for $25, $30 easy. Easy. And then you can bundle them up and make them into sets. And then once you're done painting it, check it out. Yep. That looks good. You're going to slice it up. 2 hours and 37 minutes. Now, you see how this gave us a warning, right? That it needs support. I haven't printed a mirror with supports yet. I haven't. Okay. But if you want, you can add your supports on it. If you want. I don't.
I think your red is floating. I think that's why it's asking for support.
The red is? It probably is.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah,
It is.
that's the sign that says floating.
Yeah, that's it. The red's floating. That's why I did that. All right, hold on. Can I fix that in here, Kev?
Yeah, in fact, I do want to maybe show you something as long as we're going to talk about it. Exactly. Split that to parts.
Yeah.
And it just as an alternative to painting like you did, if you go to the objects tab, when you bring in a file from Tinker, if you split it to parts, now each one of those pieces is a part. So over here, we can just assign whatever color we want to rather than use the paint feature in Silhouette.
So Kev just taught me that, y'all. You see what he did. You see how he just jumped in and did that because he hates I paint the way.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use the paint bucket in Silhouette.
He hates the paint bucket, y'all. So that's why he stepped in like that. He hates that, but yes, it is much better. This is how I'm used to painting because I've been painting with this since I've been using it. But since I met Kev, he showed me other ways to do stuff, and I love it. And it's much faster, and it gives you more freedom to be able to play around. Like if you wanted to do maybe 2 of the letters in the inside black or something like that, you know what I'm saying? It's much quicker and faster to where all you got to do is come right here and click the number 2, and then that turns black. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how simple it is. But okay, so this piece is hanging. So yes, if you have that happen, sometimes that happens.
So yeah, so if you just alt click that piece, the red, and then go to your scale tool. No, alt click the red piece, and go to scale in Bamboo up top there, or you can hit the S key on your keyboard, either way. So you see how that's 5 millimeters thick, and our base plate is 10 millimeters thick, right? So in the Z, what we have to do is you have to just kind of, this is a part you really have to learn. So we'll go to the move tool. And so the math is this. We take the object that we're moving, half of it. So that's 2.5 plus the object that we're putting it on top of, which is 10. So the Z there should be 12.5. So if you type in 12.5 there, then those two will match up perfectly. And if we reslice it, it should not warn us about supports.
And it's that simple, y'all. And sometimes that happens with Tinkercad. That is, and like I said, so he just showed me how to do it in here. Because normally when that happens, I would have normally just went back into Tinkercad and just fixed it. But you don't even have to leave Tinker to fix that part. You can come right in there, and like I did, I split it to objects. I mean, split to parts. Always come in here and split your stuff to parts. I highly recommend it, especially if you're doing a lot of coloring. If you're coloring, if you're printing with color, highly recommend it. But it's that simple to fix it. So now we'll click repair and fix the manifold edges, and we're gonna have to repaint it. But it's not going to be hard to paint because we didn't already broke it down, and we're just going to click.
Yeah, that is one negative, just so you guys know, when you are using Tinkercad, if there's any type of Boolean operation that we need to do in Bamboo for any reason at all, then we are going to mess up our colors. That is one negative. But we can also shift click multiple objects at once there. So like you could do it one by one, or you could select multiple parts at once and paint them all at the same time. And what she's doing there is she's holding her control key down, and that will allow her to select multiple parts. See, boom. And if you look there, you can see as she's clicking on objects, you see how they highlight over to the right. So if you see that one, she doesn't want to click on. So she just hits control again, and that will deselect that one and then move on to the rest of them.
Can I ask a question? Is there any benefit to like making the words all one part?
Yes, in fact, when we go into, now I don't know how it works in Tinker, but when we go in Inkscape, that if you watch some of my videos, that is one thing I really impress upon, is to combine all of the individual letters. Anya, one option would be to paint everything red, and then just control click the one piece that we want a different color, and that would do it too. So you could select all those objects, paint them all red, and then just change the one back. But however you want to do it. But yeah, in Inkscape we would combine all like items together, because then we wouldn't have to interact with them individually in Bamboo.
I don't know why Bamboo is tripping right now, because
It is really tripping.
Yo,
So
I keep clicking on this.
Scroll all the way down. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list there, and shift click the very last one. So what it's supposed to do is click on the very first one, right there in the list. Not that, that's the assembly, but the very first part. And then scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list and shift click the last part. There you go. Now paint everything red. Now over in your design space there, go ahead and just click anywhere. Oh, over here so yeah. And then alt click on the very bottom piece, because that's what we want to change over here. And then just change that one piece to whatever color you want. I don't know if it was white or blue or whatever you wanted.
White.
I don't think you have white as a filament color though. Oh yeah, 14. So just type in 14 then.
Why the fuck do it?
Oh no. Back up. Select. All right. So what you got to alt click the base there. You had the whole assembly selected. So alt click just the base piece. Right over here in the design itself, though.
Right here.
Yeah. So you're selecting the whole assembly, though. If you alt click that piece, it should just select just that piece alone.
It's not doing it.
Double click it.
I'm doing it. And
Double click it. That
No,
also
double
does it?
click the piece.
Yeah, I'm double clicking it.
Well, just click. Isn't the base a separate part? So just click on the base in your object.
Yeah, you'd have to find which piece is the base in the objects list, but there's 100 pieces.
I guess that's why I don't split the objects, y'all.
Come down.
Yeah, you're in the assembly right there.
Right, it's right under it. The green with the green check, that's the assembly. Go right under it. Go back up to the top.
Right
under
here.
it.
Yeah.
Now.
Change that color to 14. Yep. Now here's that's what we need.
Golly, bamboo. That's why I use my paint tool. I don't go through all this with my paint tool, y'all. All right, so voila, and just like that, we have our mirror. We don't have our error message. It's not floating. That piece is not floating anymore. So breaking it down to parts in that aspect. If you ever have a piece come over and it's floating, that is a good way to fix it versus leaving out of the program and go back in. And we're gonna slice it. Now we don't have any supports, and we have 2 hours and 6 minutes for this mirror. That's $25 right there. You too, Jitty. That's it. So now, and you can do that with any SVG. It doesn't matter what the SVG is. Any questions? Anybody lost or need any help?
Yeah, I get that last part, but I just watched the replay as far as the little.
Which part, babe?
As far as the when you was separating it and to break it down for the floating parts. Is that why you broke it down?
So normally it don't. We only broke. Normally that doesn't happen. It happens. It's rare. It happens if your piece come over floating from Tinker. But if it do, then that's what you do. That's how
we
you
cover
do
that
it.
a little bit in Inkscape too when we do the Inkscape version. So
yeah, but it's very rare. Go ahead.
When you keep saying floating, what does that look like?
So okay, all right. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna close this one out, and I'm gonna open up another one. I'm gonna open it up again and show you how it came in. So
it's floating in Tinkercad.
It's floating in Tinker. I just seen that. I was about to say I can show you right here.
Yeah.
It's floating right here. I didn't see it. I didn't see it floating. I didn't see it floating in there. It's not on. Yeah. So
it's not on the plate.
It glitched out in here somewhere, and it didn't go. And you see me do everything, but it's okay because it's that simple to fix it. You let it float. Come over, and we're gonna go in bamboo, and we just gonna we're gonna do what we just did right here. This is the Kev's way. He loves painting this way. This is how he paints. He does everything this way, but it is a good way though. I ain't gonna lie, I love it. All right, so you see it floating? You see it floating? So basically we're gonna click on it, right? And we're gonna split it to parts. So once we split it to parts, we're gonna come and we're gonna go over the objects.
Hold on, where is split it apart at? I'm sorry.
So when you click on the model, you're gonna right click and on it's gonna be on there. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be right here.
Split.
So we're gonna split the parts.
parts.
Yeah, split the parts.
Okay.
All right. So then we gotta find our floating piece again.
you could just all click on that circle.
Oh, here we go. There we have it. And then we're gonna go into the move tool. And remember, this number is supposed to be 1250. I swear, I don't know what's going on with my computer tonight, but this got me really, yeah.
You're all clicking?
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, it's something wrong with my computer tonight. There we go. Now there we go. All right. So this number should be 1250. So we're gonna put 12.5 in there. 12.5. And just like that, it takes the piece from floating to being back on the plate. That simple. And that's our mirror. So any questions? And this size, know that your circle does not matter. It doesn't matter what shape it is because they have different shapes of these mirrors. They have, let me see. I put the link up to mine, but they got them in squares. They got them in hearts. They got them in butterflies, whatever.
Looks like ovals.
Yeah, like, so whatever that size is, that is the only numbers. So you can even get into, like, you see these ones right here, these 12 by 24s. If you wanted to start getting into, well, actually, we got something in store for y'all coming, Kev. But since we did this mirror class, Kev is actually going to teach y'all how to turn this into a vanity.
Ooh.
So with these mirrors right here, the idea that I have for these mirrors right here, we're going to tag team a class and we're going to do a vanity. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you can get creative, you know what I'm saying? And think outside the box with what, like, we call ourselves the trendsetters for a reason. We don't do the stuff. I don't mind teaching you the stuff that everybody else is doing, but you know, I want to do the stuff. Take me where the people are doing stuff that nobody else is doing. We want to set trends. So I haven't seen anything done with like these big mirrors and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? They have them in different colors. So you could definitely get creative with your mirrors, your hand mirrors. You can do big ones depending on the size of your printer. So
A quick question with the
yes.
mirror. Do we need to know the thickness in order to know
Good question.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
That's a good question right there. So here we go. So
Calipers are your best friends.
if you come here and if you come here and go through the pictures, how do you get through the photos? Let me see. It tells you all that.
Okay.
2 millimeters, 8 centimeters, 6.
Okay.
Mm.
I got you.
I have a question. I've seen people design stuff in Tinkercad. Could you have designed this in Tinkercad without doing it in Inkscape first?
Yes, the short answer is yes. We're gonna jump into Tinkercad here and rather, and I think you'll see that that as far as designing things, it probably would actually be easier to do it in Inkscape than Tinkercad, but you could definitely do it in Tinkercad too.
Tinkercad, you just have to, I believe, you have to do it with the shapes and all of that. You have to figure out your shapes and all of that, right?
Yeah, it's just I think you'll see the Inkscape workflow. It'll be pretty straightforward. Well, I think we might have lost Anya. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Her device may have went dead.
What's that?
Her device may have went dead.
Oh, maybe. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and jump in here and show you. We're gonna do the same project in Inkscape, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do maybe like an abbreviated version. In that I won't go so specific dot to dot. I just want to, you saw the Tinkercad or the in Silhouette Studio. So I'll just show you the same process. But we'll just kind of go through it quickly because I did want to show you one other project that will take a little bit of time if you guys want to hang out for it. And that's that wine holder that was posted to the group earlier.
I gotta
we can hang
download
out.
Inkscape.
Yes, we can hang out for that.
Yes, I want to.
Okay,
I gotta
so
download.
Yeah, I'm
Inkscape.
definitely hanging out for that too.
Okay,
right.
I'm back. I'm
Oh,
sorry, guys, but Kev's gonna take over
oh,
and show y'all in Inkscape. But
yeah,
I'm still here.
okay, great. All right, so basically we're going to do a very similar thing as to what you had seen previously. And let me go ahead and minimize this. But what I started to say was I'm going to make a separate video of like the same process, the same design, just more in detail. All right. So if you're totally brand new to Inkscape, basically take this next part just as a, hey, I want to learn more about that, not necessarily understanding exactly what we're doing.
I need to download. You have to download it, right?
Yeah, Inkscape is a free program. You just go to inkscape.org. There's a big old download button
What the fuck
front and
going
center on the home page. You just click it, download, install it. I do have a video that I just posted today on the basic Inkscape setup because there's a couple of things when you first install the software that I would encourage you to do because then you'll be able to follow along better on the video tutorials. But let me just blaze through this real quick just to give you an idea of the process that we would use in Inkscape, and then we'll move on to that other project. So we are sitting here in Inkscape, and what we're going to start with is a circle. So we're just going to hit the E key on our keyboard and drag out a circle. If we hold the Control key down, it'll constrain to a perfect circle. All right. And so now we have a circle. Now, if you don't like keyboard shortcuts, the ellipse tool is right over here to the left. And we got rectangles and ellipses and all kinds of shapes, right? So the next thing we want to do is we want to resize our circle to our mirror size, right? So just like we did in Silhouette Studio, we come up here, we have a width and a height, and we're going to do 4 inches. And 4 inches is 100 millimeters. So we just type in 100 there. And notice that we have this little lock. That will lock the height and width. So if we change the width to 100, then the height's going to obviously change to 100 as well. All right. And you notice here we have a stroke, and we also have a fill. To get rid of the stroke.
Kev, hold on. Mute that person. Mute them.
Oh.
Thank you.
They are muted. All right. So, but anyhow, we have a stroke and a fill. So to get rid of the fill, we just come down here to the left mouse button down here. And now we have no fill, but we need fill. So then we just do the opposite for a stroke is shift. And now we get rid of our stroke. Okay. So now we have our basic circle. So now what we want to do is we want to offset this. Remember, we did that in Silhouette too, right? So let's go ahead and duplicate our circle. So here in Inkscape, we have to duplicate our circle. And we do that by either right-clicking and choosing duplicate, or we just hit Control-D, one of those two. And we could also select it and duplicate it here as well. So we're going to go to the one on the bottom. We're going to just click on any one of these colored squares along the bottom of Inkscape. And this is our offset tool. Okay. And it's called path effects is really what it's called. But there's an offset path effect right there. Boom. So there's our offset. And then we could just put something in here. Now we know approximately how big our offset was. I forgot what I used, but I'm going to choose 12 and see what that looks like. Okay, well, that's maybe a little bit rich, right? It's a little bit wide. So let's back that off to maybe 8. Okay, I like that better. Okay, now once we've done that offset, we really need to set that. So we're going to come up here and we're just going to choose path and object to path, and that will set that. So now we have that in place, and we can just kind of move on from there. So the next thing we're going to do is we have to think about how we're actually going to print this. in order to create artwork properly. Now, honestly, I just watched it and I don't remember exactly how she did it, but I got an idea of how I'm going to do it, and it might be just a little bit different. So what we want to do is I want to take this green circle and I'm just going to duplicate it one more time. And I'm just going to move it down one spot, okay? And then what I want to do is this pink circle, I'm going to duplicate that. And of course, we're using Control D to duplicate. And then I'm going to hold my Shift key and click the green one and Control minus. Now, what do we do there? The Control minus is difference, okay? And that's right here. It's under Path and Difference. And see, it tells us what the keyboard shortcut is there. But this is what we did. We created a ring, okay? So we have a solid circle and we have a ring. And this will make all sense when we get into Bamboo, why I wanted that ring. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to create a rectangle. So a rectangle would be the R key on our keyboard. See there? Boom. We created a rectangle. It's also available right here. So you could just click on that little button and just create a rectangle. Doesn't matter what size. And then we have to define the width of our rectangle, which in our case, we could give it, I'm going to grab my ruler here. I was thinking, yeah, I want my handle to be 1.5 inches wide. I think that's a good size. So 1.5 inches. Now remember, an inch is 25 millimeters. So 1.5 inches is roughly what? 37 millimeters. So let's just do 38 just for fun. Okay. So now we had the lock. So it also changed the height, but I need to unlock that because I need to stretch this bad boy out. Right. So we're going to do something like that. Now we have snapping turned on. And so with snapping turned on and we hover, see, it'll snap to the edge. It'll also eventually, see that vertical line right there? That means it's snapped to the center. Okay. So you see how there's an overlap here? This is one thing I really want to stress. That doesn't matter. When we go into Bamboo, it doesn't matter that we have overlapping shapes. And this would be true if you were designing in Silhouette or designing here in Inkscape. Either way, does not matter. So, and I'll explain that more when we get into Bamboo. But the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to round off these edges on the bottom. And of course, you could do this in Silhouette too, just a little bit differently. But what we're going to do first is we have a rectangle and it needs to be a path. So we're going to come up here to Path and Object to Path. Now that it's a path, we can come back into Path Effects and there's a Corners option. So we click on Corners, and for the unit, we're going to change the unit to millimeters. It really bugs me that every time we do this corners, we have to change the units. That should stay put unless we wanted to use pixels for some crazy reason. But we have this option here. See where it says change only selected nodes. So if I double click on my shape, I just want these two nodes. That's it, just those two selected. And then we can go ahead and give it how much do we want to round those off. And I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe 12 would be 1/2 inch. So let's maybe do 10, something like that. So now you see how we have a nice little round off of our handle, right? So now what we want to do is we have to set that. Every time we apply a path effect, we have to set it. So we're going to go to Path and Object to Path, and that's how we set it. Now, we're going to go ahead and import our artwork here. And I don't remember which is which. So let's just import one. Hey, I got it right the first time. So this is the same SVG that I used earlier. So we're going to rotate this. And I'm holding down my Control key, and that will snap into like 90 degrees. So it's perfectly rotated 90 degrees. But now we're going to go ahead and shrink it down. And we could just come up here. So we can lock those. We know that our handle's $1.50. So I don't know. Let's see. Our handle's what here? All right, our handle's 38. I'm sorry. So maybe we want this to be 28, something like that, right? And we could just move it over here. And again, as we move, it should snap. See that vertical red line? It's snapping to the center of this green one. And so what we'll do here is we're just going to use our Control key as we move it up and down, and then it can only move up and down or side to side. But in this case, we'll move up and down, and we'll just pull it down to right about there is good. So now what I can do is I can resize this. So we'll double click on it and grab these nodes and just drag it down. Something like that. So then we'll go ahead and move this back up. Now, one thing, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. I just thought of this. One thing that we might want to do is let's grab those nodes and control click and pull this down. Just to add a little bit of length here. If we can, we have to make sure that our overall height is not more than 240, but we'll fix it here in a second. I think we're going to be okay. But I'm just going to add a circle. So let's go ahead. And this is just so that we could hang our mirror up on a hook or something. Just to show you, different things that we could do here. So let's slide this down a little bit. Now I need to poke a hole. So we're going to grab our circle, shift click the green, control minus. Boom, there's our hole. So now we got a place to hang it up. All right, now we have to see, did we do okay on the 240? Look at there. We are good to go because we're only at 206. So we got plenty of room. So we could add a bigger handle, knowing that. So let's go ahead and do that. You know what? One thing that we could do in Inkscape that is really useful, in fact, is actually change this page preview to the size of our build plate. So that could be useful. So let's go up here to the file and document properties, and let's just go ahead and change that to our build plate, which in my case, I'm using a Bamboo A1. So that's my build plate, 256 by 256. And now we get a better visual, right? Now we can't resize the top of this because we have a 4-inch mirror. So we can't do that, but we can resize our handle. So we can go ahead and resize our handle. So we'll just do that. And I'm going to move that up just a little bit. So let's move it up just a little bit, something like that. All right. So now what else could we do? Well, it might be cute to add another little logo here for the deltas, because the deltas do have another little logo. Or we could do something cute like there's different monogram fonts that are available. And we could add a little monogram there, right? So there's all kinds of things you could do to embellish this a little bit more. But this whole thing right here is at 234.
It'd be cute to add a personal name right there too.
Yes, yeah, you could definitely add, Karen or whatever, whatever you want it there. So absolutely. Or like if somebody's graduating or something, like the graduation year or something, you could do all kinds of things. But at any rate, now we basically have the basis of our mirror. So let's go ahead and save this artwork. And we'll save it to the desktop. And we'll just call it Delta Mirror. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this SVG because I really think we should focus on Bamboo conversion and master that. Master that inside out, backwards. So take this SVG and create this mirror model in Bamboo, like I'm about to show you. And then once you got that figured out and you're really comfortable in Bamboo, then focus more on Inkscape and learning all the details there. But we're going to go ahead and import this model. So I just hit Control-I. And let's find our Delta Mirror. Where did the Delta Mirror go? There it is. So there's Delta Mirror. Okay. So now over here in our Objects panel, when we bring in an SVG, this way, it's already created all of our objects for us. You see that here? So all these objects are already created for us. Now we need, what do we need? White and red. So let me go ahead and add a red color here. And you can see the one thing that we didn't do, and we're going to go back and do it, because you see how all these are individual letters. I didn't think about that. So let me just go back into Inkscape real quick. Did not think to look at my layers palette to see what I actually had here. So let's ungroup this. When we brought that SVG in, we brought it in and we did not do anything with it, and we need to. So now you can see we got 150,000 pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the top, those top letters, and we're going to go ahead and hit Control+. And then we'll take the delta and we'll hit Control Plus. Now you can see now we just have 2 parts plus our original mirror parts. Now why did I do them separately? And by the way, Control Plus is union. So that is available right here, path in union. And you see this little keyboard shortcut there. So that allows us to use that little keyboard shortcut too. Somebody's trying to get in here. So let me let them in quick. Monty is late to the show, but she didn't miss it entirely. All right, thanks for Monty for tuning in. So so now we have a proper SVG. So we'll just resave that. But as I was saying, the reason that we might want to do this differently is coloring could be one reason, but also thickness. I like to use thickness a lot. So I might want to do this at, say, 1 millimeter and then do this to overemphasize it to 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters. Sometimes I think that looks kind of interesting when you're using different thicknesses. So we'll go ahead and import the model again. So there's Delta Mirror. And so now you'll see we have far fewer objects over here. We only have a couple, and that's what we need. So we'll center that up to the build plate. And I like to go ahead and rename my parts. We only have a few, so might as well. So we'll call this the mirror back. And then our ring, we'll call it mirror ring. And then we should have the mirror itself, which we actually don't even need. We don't need it. Goodbye. Just hit the delete key. And then the mirror handle. All right. And then what do we got? We've got delta. And we'll just call the last one text. And all we're doing is clicking one time to change layer names. Now, why I make that important distinction is in Inkscape, we have to click twice. But in Bamboo, we just click once. So we could take the whole assembly, and we're going to change it to color 4. And then we're just going to take the mirror back. The mirror back. And what else? The mirror handle. And we're just going to change that to white. Okay. So right now, everything is 10 mil thick. All right. And what we want to do is we want to set the thicknesses of all of our parts. So the mirror ring, I think I'm going to go with 4. So the 4 millimeters thick. And then the mirror handle, we can leave that at 4, but then the mirror back, all right, let's do this. The mirror back, let's do 12 at least. At least 12. And then the mirror handle is going to be 10. The mirror ring is going to be 4. And the delta, let's go ahead and make that 3 just to see what it looks like. And then the text, let's make that 1. All right. Now, this is the part that always catches people. It can be a little bit confusing to understand, but once you get it, you're golden. So right here, you see the handle is floating. Okay. So what we have to do is we want that handle to be on our build plate. So we alt-click, or the nice thing about having it named is we know exactly what is what over here. So we could just click on mirror handle. And it is 10. So 10 on the build plate is always in half. So the X, Y, and Z positioning here in Bamboo is always the center point of your object. And this is really important because it helps us put things in order the way they should be. So this is 10, so the Z height has to be 5. So when we come up here to the move tool, the Z is 6. That's why it's floating. So we just change that to 5, and now that will be on the build plate. See, it's just right there on the build plate. And the reason I did 112 and 110 is I just wanted that. I just like that little detail. So that's why I did that way. So then we'll go to the mirror ring. Okay, now this is a trivia question here. The mirror back was 12. The ring is 4. So what should the Z height be? Well, the Z height would be half of 4, which is 2, plus the 12 of the plate that we're putting it on top of. So 12 and 2, 14. So that value has to be 14. So you see how that is perfectly on there? Now, do you have to know math? No, you don't have to know math. Let me show you another option. So we're going to go down and do it with Delta here. So we're going to go to the Move tool, and we're just going to drag her up. There's Delta. Now, I want Delta to be right here on the handle. So this would be similar to the work plane tool in Tinkercad, what we're about to do. So we're going to select the entire assembly and go to the assembly tool. And this is an amazing tool here in Bamboo. If you go to YouTube right now and type in assembly tool in Bamboo Studio, I don't think you're going to find a single video on this tool, which is crazy to me because it's incredibly useful. But we click on the assembly tool and you see it where it says face 1 fixed. So whatever the face we decide to pick first, that is the stationary position. And there's 2 modes in assembly. There's face-to-face and point-to-point, and both are incredibly useful. But in this case, we'll do fixed face-to-face. So you can just hover over any face anywhere, and you can select it. So in this case, we want this, and then we want one of these faces underneath here. And then we could just hit 0 here, and boom. Now Delta is perfectly placed on top of this, okay? Now, just for fun, let's go through the math. We know our handle is 10. Delta, what do we make Delta? I forgot. Delta is 3. So what should the Z value be? Well, it should be half of 3, which is 1.5, plus 10. So if I alt-click this, and I go to my Move tool, the Z height should be at 11.5. So I click that, and there's your Z, right? 11.5. So we don't necessarily have to know the math, but if we do know the math and we understand the math, we can do it quicker, in my opinion, anyhow. So now we're going to put the other text in place. So there's our other text. Now we made that 1. Half of 1 is 0.5. Our handle's 10, so the Z would be 10.5. Ta-da. So that is your mirror. Now, we did a 4 millimeter. This red ring is 4 millimeters. And the reason we did it 4 is because the mirror is 2, right? We looked at that on Amazon. So what that's going to do when we put our mirror in here, it's just going to give us a nice little 2 millimeter recess. So, and that's it. So
that was pretty badass.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So Inkscape users, so if you got, rather if you got Silhouette or Inkscape, we gave you the mirror 2 ways to be able to get that accomplished.
Well, I have to be devil's advocate for just a couple seconds, only because I have that app. Could you also do this with Canva?
I don't know. We haven't done it in Canva.
Well, yeah, as far as the designing aspect, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Now I have heard, I don't know if the rumors are true, that there are issues with sometimes importing an SVG from Canva into Bamboo.
That is so true. That is real true.
Yeah, that's the only negative that I heard about using Canva. Is that issue. And guys, I can only stress to you, I know Inkscape looks real scary, but it's not. It truly is not. And if you take just, I would say honestly, maybe 2 to 3 days of just tinkering, and we've got a lot of videos, lots and lots of real simple videos, can openers and things. I really think, especially when you're about to watch our next project, I think it'll click to say, man, I need to learn this. Because if you learn it, Inkscape is like a gateway to all kinds of things that we can do. There's all kinds of extensions for Inkscape. We can do embroidery designs with Inkscape. There's a free embroidery plugin. So if you wanted to create embroidery designs, you could. I mean, there's just so many things we can do. Of course, all of our marketing materials and packaging we can design in Inkscape. There's a really good course. The website is called Logos by Nick. And I love his presentation. You can find him on YouTube. He has lots of amazing videos on YouTube on Inkscape. And the nice thing about his videos, they're really concise. They're like 5-10 minute videos. So you can get in and out when you have your spare time and watch his videos, but it's called Logos by Nick. And that's his YouTube channel, and that's also his website. But Logos by Nick, he has a really extensive Inkscape course. Now, it's just kind of a general Inkscape course. There's a lot of things in that course that we don't need to know for 3D printing, but it's a good basic course. It's $18, guys. $18, and he will walk you soup to nuts through absolutely everything for $18. But there, like I said, there is a lot of content that he does. He does all kinds of crazy things in there that wouldn't really pertain to us in 3D printing. So you kind of have to weed through some of that. But I really like his presentation style, and I like that his videos are nice and short and concise, so you can get in and out in just, a few minutes here, a few minutes there. But if you make the effort to learn Inkscape, like I think, long term, that this is the long-term game. Like, it really will elevate you, and you could do some really cool things. So I would encourage you to take the time to learn Inkscape. I really would. All right, so that's it for the mirror. Pretty straightforward, pretty basic. So yeah, so that's it for the mirror. So I'm going to give you this SVG and let you practice with this SVG in Bamboo Studio. And if you have Inkscape and you want to try and add a little, a little monogram or some initials there, just to play around with it, just to see what you can actually do.
If you have Silhouette Business, you can also play like with his handle. I'm used to doing my offsets as my handles like that. So once I seen how he did his handle, I like it. It's cleaner. It gives it a cleaner look. I love the clean edges to it. So you can even play with that and manipulate your handle in that way in Silhouette as well, guys. So either or, it's up to you.
Yes, because you could use points in Silhouette and achieve that look.
Yes. So you can do the same thing, but I'm trained. I'm used to doing stuff a certain way. So you know how it is when you have to unlearn something. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. What is Kev's YouTube channel? We will make sure.
All Things Creative. Yeah, that's the name of the YouTube channel. All Things Creative. Because I do a lot of woodworking, or I used to. I don't like to do woodworking anymore. Now, I will venture off the beaten path here. I did not plan to do this. But if you want to see, just real quick, it'll take probably 5 minutes. If you want to see how we could take the same design and turn it into a lamp, I could do that real quick with you guys if you want to just see another idea what you could do with this.
In Inkscape?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have to modify the artwork just a pinch, but then we're gonna do a mirror, and we're gonna use the same unapology delta, but we're just gonna make it into a lamp base. But we'll just do it. We'll just blaze through it real quick. So I know it's getting late, and but I just want to give you different ideas of how you could take simple artwork like this. Bam, 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 bam.
Yes.
Once you know what you're doing, you'll be able to knock it out literally in minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this, and maybe what we'll do is this circle. Let's go ahead and maybe we'll use the 3-inch mirror. So we'll just kind of pretend that we're gonna bring this down to a 3-inch mirror, okay? And then this text, we're gonna group it together. So to group something here in Inkscape, we just hit Control G. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this text because we need that outline like we did in Silhouette. Okay. So that's a path effect in Inkscape. So we'll go here and then we'll go offset And I don't know how much we're going to offset. Let's try something like 8. And then let's give that offset a different color. Okay, that's way too much. So maybe 3. That's better, but let's do one more. Let's just do 4. It's whatever you think. You know, there's no magic number to this. So I'm going to go with 4. So we're going to go ahead and hit path and object path here. And you see that little dot right there in the middle? We're going to get rid of that. So you can see we have a group. So we need to ungroup. And then, so let's ungroup. That's not ungrouping for some reason. So let's ungroup it again. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and path and union, path and break apart. And what that does is that gets rid of that piece in the middle. And then we'll go back to path and union again. Okay. So now we're just going to resize this, you know, whatever size we want it to be. Now we have to be mindful that it does have to fit on our build plate. So let's just say hypothetically, I don't know what size is this circle. Okay, look at that, 3 inches. We got lucky. So at any rate, this is going to be our mirror base. So we're gonna turn this into a lamp. Okay, and so what we're gonna do here is let's go ahead and hit File, Save As, and you guys will benefit because you're going to have the completed lamp file too. So we're going to do Delta Lamp. All right. And so we have to come back into Bamboo. And I think we'll just work in the same document we had been working in. Now, I don't know what's gotten into me, but I always work with 6 build plates. So if you ever open my files and you're like, what are all these empty build plates for? I don't know. Just because I like 6 build plates. I like that number for some reason. All right, let's go ahead and import and show you how to make our lamp. So where's I guess we have to, oh, there it is, Delta Lamp. All right, so this is our new lamp file here. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this way, just so I could see it. I like it to face me. And we'll center this up. All right. So just like before, we have our pieces. So this is our mirror back. And then this is our mirror ring. And then this is the mirror, which we decided we did not need at all. Boom. And then this is our text base, we're going to call it. I guess that's what you call it. And then we have our delta. And then we have our text. Okay. So there we go. That's what we got going on here. So we have to decide and dream in our head what we want this to look like. So firstly, let's go ahead and I'll click this and we'll set that to 75 thickness. So we want to make sure uniform scale is not turned on. 75. Remember, we're making a lamp base here. So it's going to be, it's going to be fairly deep. In this case, we did 75. And then over here on our mirror back, let's make that, I don't know. Let's, so that's 75. Let's make this 85. That sounds like a good number. So you can see, remember, just like with our handle, that piece is now lifted off the build plate, and we can't have that. So we're going to alt click it, and we're going to move it. Half of 75 is 37.5. So now she's back on the build plate. Okay. So now we're going to take the mirror ring, and we're going to do the same thing as we did over here. That's going to be 4. And so half of 4 is 2. And then remember, on top of 85. So that has to be 87. Okay. And then we're going to put our mirror in there, and then we'll still have a 2-inch reveal. All right, so now we can come over here to our delta text. Now let's go ahead and give that delta text a different color. And so this one, we're going to make it 4 this time. Half of 4 is 2, sitting on top of 75, so that becomes 77. And then this text, we're going to make it 2. Half of 2 is 1, but we want to make sure we're in scale to make it 2. Half of 2 is 1, so then that has to be 76 in the Z. So now you can kind of see what we got going on, right? So now let's go ahead and we want to take our black pieces and make them white. So let's do that. Okay. So that's kind of what we got going on. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and rotate this. So we're going to spin it around and rotate this like such. Now this is, I did this deliberately. You see how we have that kind of raised up? What I thought would be cool is to go ahead and make it like this. And what I mean by that is we're going to rotate this. So we're going to rotate it. So when it's sitting on your desk, it's going to be, it's actually going to be at an angle. Okay. You see how that's going to sit on the build plate. So it's going to be at an angle like that. And I just think that would look cool. So that's what we're going to run with. So now that we have that angled the way we want, it's sitting on our build plate the way we want, we're going to go ahead and put in our puck. All right. So we come over here to our new build plate and drop in the puck. The puck is available in the Patreon. You do have to be a paid member on the $10 tier. So it is available if you want to use this particular puck. But anyhow, or you can purchase it separately from the website, either way.
Kevin, I'm sorry, quick question. So when you were doing the number additions, was that process to get everything lower and flat on the plate when you were doing the individual parts, when it was floating at first?
Right. So
because you
yeah,
did it on each part. So it was to get all those parts to touch.
yeah, right here. Mhm.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we could have used the assembly tool and not done all the math, but I'm so used to doing the math that I just do the math. And one thing I do want to point out here, you might like it, you might not like it, but you see these little ridges that are on top here. We could have come into Inkscape. We could have come into Inkscape and double clicked here, and you see all those notes. Had we gone in here and deleted all those and made a straight line, we could have done that. You know, just so you know, we could have done that.
Okay.
And then it would have been perfectly straight on top. But I'm just kind of giving you an idea right now of different things that we can do. All right, so let's go ahead and add in our puck. So we're going to hit Control I, and on my desktop somewhere I have the puck. I called it puck, and there it is. So there's the puck, and we'll go ahead and import geometry only. Now there's our puck. Now we give you one laying down and we give you one standing up. The reason we give you one laying down is because generally we do our puck before we rotate. Okay, so then I would just take this and put it over here like so. And we can look straight down. If we hit Control 1, that'll give us a straight down look here. And we can move this puck visually of where we want it in relationship to our circle. Okay, so maybe I want it something along those lines. And I don't know, can we volunteer Anya to make us a badass lampshade to go with this?
You can.
All right, you gonna do that? You can whip us up a badass lampshade for this?
I sure can.
All right. So at any rate, now we do want to put this puck front to back, right? We want to put we want to center that. This piece, I'll click it. Now remember that piece was 85. So center is 42.5. Now we cannot move the puck. If you look here, the puck is sitting on the build plate. Okay. So we cannot move the puck off the build plate because it's not part of this assembly. So we would take our puck Shift Control. We have to use Shift Control the assembly, right click and merge. Now we can just alt click the puck and move it to that 42.5. It was really close, but I'm a stickler for that. All right, so there you go. So now our puck is in place. And if we want to, let's go ahead and change the color of our puck. We probably print it all just like that. Okay. And by the way, our ring is red. So I'll click the ring and change that to red. Now it's looking like something. Okay. So that's pretty cool.
That is so nice.
So
And you
now
think they can use this on their desk at work? You know what I'm saying? With the
and
mirror to be
and
able
just
to
look at
power up.
look at yeah, because women, they like to look at themselves and make sure their lipstick is all right. So
Kevin.
maybe not Kia, but everybody else. So at any rate, so what we have to do is we got to poke a hole. Okay. And so to poke a hole, we're going to select the whole assembly and go to the mesh boolean tool. And this is what I was talking about earlier. When you import a model from Tinkercad, if we're going to do any of this with a Tinkercad model, then we're going to lose our painting. So think ahead and make sure that we do all of our booleans and then do the painting. Okay. Otherwise, we'll lose it all. And you have to do it all over again anyhow. So we're going to go to subtraction. And the way this works is the B is our cutters. So I'm going to push everything over. And if we look at the A list and come down, you see how that particular one is like highlighted. If we click on it, now it's not highlighted. And all we want is this one. And move it over. And now that is the only thing in the B column. So this green is going to cut that blue. So if we hit execute, now we are going to keep the original models in this example. So we'll hit execute. Now, what we don't know is if it actually did what it was supposed to do. So let's see. We're going to just come out here and alt click. Did it do what it was supposed to? Look at there. We got a hole. Now, what do you do if it doesn't have a hole? Because it happens. So all you have to do is right click and fix the model and then do it all over again. Okay. So just,
Can you do it one more time, Kevin, please?
the whole operation?
No, just the whole, yes.
Okay. So we'll go to subtraction and you see we have all these parts in the B column. We need to push them all to the A column. So that's what this does. It just flip-flops them. Boom. So now in this case, the lamp boolean is already over here. And we're going to make sure we keep the originals. And I'll explain why we're doing that in this case. You don't always have to do this, but in this case, we want to keep this original. But let's go ahead and execute.
Yes, Renita, or is it Ratna? Yes, if he would have left it, it would have all printed together.
And then we all click this. Just the, got to grab the right key. And then, so there we have our hole. Okay. And this particular one, you could see the post here almost goes all the way through. So, so that's pretty cool too. Okay. So now this is all basically set up. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rotate this in the vertical. Okay. Now the reason I left this together like I did was because I wanted to, I've got a finished model here, right? So I can take a screenshot of this and post it to my website, or I can take a screenshot of the completed model to send to my customer for approval, those kinds of things. So that's why I like to leave it all together. Now, once I'm done with the model, then I'll set it up for printing, and then we'll bust it up. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But I don't think I'm done. That's the thing, right? I don't think I'm done. We got to make things even more complicated. So what do we want to do next? Well, this is really why you want to learn your slicer, because I have an idea that I think will be cool, but we really have to know how all this is going to work. And what I want to do here is I want to just come in here and hollow this out right here. And
Oh,
So
that'd be so cool for a pen holder.
I know, but that's why I said, he going
yeah,
somewhere.
so we could now that would be interesting, right? As a pen holder, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and lay this back down. I like to lay it back down though to do this. So let's go ahead and lay it back down. And this is at the finished angle, like it would be on the desk. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a primitive cube. And this, like I said, this is really why you got to learn your slicer. This is the first step, ladies. Learn that slicer. So this is 75 tall. So what we want on the front edge here, really the minimum should be 4 millimeters. So so we need 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. That's 8. And so we subtract 8 from 75. That would be 67, right? Is that right? Is the math right? Yeah, 67. So the cube height needs to be 67. Okay. Now I don't know precisely how wide my pockets are going to be. If I'll click this, let me just try this. How tall is that? In order to be a pen holder, so this is in the red direction here.
Do the sticky note. Make it a sticky note.
Yeah, we could do something like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. So what we could do here is now the sticky note. Technically, this is not deep enough for a sticky note because I think they're 3 by 3. But basically, the concept here is just to cut. I was just thinking have a couple of spots in here to put something like rings or something like that.
Paper clips.
Yeah, paper clips. Yeah, whatever. Just some jewelry. Drop your earrings in there, right? On the side of the desk.
Or you could use it as a makeup tissue, cotton balls, anything.
Exactly.
Store anything right there.
So we're going to do something a little bit different, though. We're going to come into Inkscape, and we're going to.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, a friend of mine who used to do my hair just passed away, and I wanted to kind of make a lamp, and I wanted to kind of use like the curling irons or something like that. Do you think it would be hard, or would I have to put it like a background on the back of it just to give it support, and then put the pictures on the front? I mean, put the things on the front.
I'm not exactly.
Kind of hard. You got to give us a better visual of the lamp.
Yeah, I definitely think you could incorporate that, in some way or another. Yeah, we might have to think it through a little bit, but I definitely think you could do it for sure. Yep. So what I did here in Inkscape, I decided to make it even more complicated for you, because why not? Why not? We're baddies. We gotta learn it all. So this is 67 millimeters. Remember, we calculated that in bamboo, and the height. How deep do I want my little cavity? I'm just going to do 40 millimeters for this example. And then we're going to go ahead and path and object to path, and we're going to apply this path effect. Remember, we did the corners. So we're going to go to corners on this path effect here. And let's see. See that little thing there? We can drag that. See how we're smoothing it out? We're going to drag this up just like that. And we're going to go to path and choose object to path. And you're going to be wondering, like, what is he doing? Well, we're going to show you here. So we'll hit save as desktop, and let's just call it drawer. I don't know what to call it. But so back over here. So we're not going to use this. This has gone bye-bye. So what we're going to do is we're going to go import the drawer that we just created. So now I'm giving you all my tips on how I do everything so quickly. Now you won't have to hire me to make you nothing no more. So there it is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to rotate this up this way, like such. And let's go ahead and make it wider. So I don't know how wide exactly, but let's go ahead and scale it in the X direction here. I don't know. Let's make it 50. 50 is 2 inches. So you see what we're going to do here? We're going to put that in there. And why we're doing this is, as we do this right here, you see that? The front of this is now going to, when dip your hand in there to get your earrings out or whatever, it's going to have a nice, smooth, curved surface, and it's not going to be square. So you can kind of, you know what I mean? You're like when you're getting candy out of a bowl. Think of it that way, right? So there's one, and then let's go ahead and duplicate this. So we're going to hit Control-C, Control-V, and then this would be the one right next to it. Okay. So what we're going to do here, the way this is going to work here, we have to merge this to our main assembly, just like we did with our lamp puck, because we're going to cut a hole in this. So we're going to hit Shift Control, right click and merge. It's all going to come together, I promise. And then we're going to copy and paste this over. So let's do that. Control-C, Control-V. And when you do that, and it's part of an assembly, it makes the duplicate right on top of the original, which can be useful. So we'll just slide this over, just like this, okay? So now we have two of them there. So now all I have to do is bring this off the build plate, which we can do because it's part of an assembly. And so this is 8 millimeters right now. So we're going to alt-click this and just move it up. And we're going to move it up 4 from whatever it is. So we have those two selected, and the Z is currently 33. So add 4, that makes that 37. So now if we look at this, we've got 4 millimeter right there, and we've got 4 millimeter right there. Okay. Now we could be real nitpicky and center this and do whatever we want to do. I just want to give you an idea, right? So what we're going to do is go back into our mesh boolean tool, and you see we have all this stuff over here. So we push that arrow, push everything over, and now we need this lamp boolean. We don't need that. We push that over, come down to the list here, uncheck that, and we need our 2 drawers. So we click that and move that over here. So now you see we have our 2 green drawers. Now we're ready to cut some holes. You ready for this? So we'll go ahead and hit execute. We are going to, we don't really need the original models, so we'll go ahead and ditch those and execute. And so you see what I was talking about, how those bottom of those drawers have a little roundness to them. So you can put some candy in there, whatever you want to do. And so now we'll go ahead and rotate this back around here. Stand this back up. And now you get a better visual of what's going on in there.
So now you don't just have one product to offer. You have 2, but 2 products serves as the one product serves as 3 different things, because you have a light, you have a mirror, and now they actually have an area for storage, and all done in right here.
Now, as long as we're on a roll, do you want me to give you one more idea?
Yes, please.
This will be, I promise this won't be that complicated. But what if we did something like this? This is why, like, it's really important to think, man, I didn't know we could even do that. So what if we wanted to turn this into a keychain? We want this lamp base to be a keychain. What are we going to do there?
Kevin gonna have us do a homework.
Yeah. So, but the thing of the beauty of it is we could take this lamp base, make it a keychain, just a matter of a couple minutes if we really understand how our slicer works. So let me show you. So we're going to copy this lamp, and you're going to get all these. So you'll get the finished model, so you can really digest it all. So we don't need our lamp puck for our keychain, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Let's lay this bad boy back down. We're going to lay it back down. And we don't need, obviously, we don't need all this junk. We don't need most of that junk. So let's go ahead and get rid of it. So we do want to look at it from this direction, probably. And that's our cut plane tool. So we'll come over here so we can see this. But we're going to move this up, and we're going to chop it right there. See where I chopped it? Right there in the middle of that 4 millimeters? Chop. We're going to cut to parts and perform the cut. Okay? Now we're going to alt-click the pieces that we no longer need. So we don't need that, and now we got that. Right? So you see where where we're going? You see where we're going?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and resize this to the size of our keychain. So we're going to go into scale, and we need it to be in the X position here. So let's just make it 80. 80 mil is good. We do want to turn on uniform scale for this. So let's make it 80. So there we go. So now we shrunk this bad boy down. Now we have to do a little bit more work here because we want to change some thicknesses and do some different things here. But all of these are still separate pieces. So like this piece here is separate, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and alt click this first and change the thickness. Now on my keychains, I like that base plate to be 4 millimeters. Okay. And then we can come over here and we can find our delta text, and let's make it maybe 2. And then our other text, let's go ahead and make it 1. And then our mirror back. So this is 4. So we want kind of that same effect. We want that step down there. So let's just make this 5 on the mirror back. And then for our mirror ring, let's go ahead and make that 1.5 maybe. I'm going to be difficult. 1.5 thickness. And then our text space, we've already done that. All right. So now we just have to put all this back together again in regards to Z heights. So if we start with our mirror ring, this is 1.5. Half of 1.5 is 0.75 on top of this, which is 5. So the Z height for the ring has to be 5.75. So let's grab our ring, and this should be 5.75. Okay, now what's going on here? Let's look at the ring again. How thick did we make that? Yep, 0.75. Something doesn't look right there. Our mirror back is 5. It does not look right. So let's go to the move tool. That's at 5.75. You see, oh, do we have something else? What's going on there? I'm not sure. So let's do this. If we're not sure, let's just get it out of our way. We'll start there. Move that ring out of the way. And what is this? So just alt click that. Nope, it's just one piece. So let's use the assembly tool. Oh, I know what I was doing.
Planet.
It's floating.
Mm-hmm.
It's floating. So that has to be at 2.5. Devil's in the details. So that's at 2.5. Now our ring should be 5.75. All right. So is it still floating? Nope. That's why. All right, perfect. So now the delta text. The delta text is 2, and this bottom piece is 4. So the Z height on the delta is 5. And then on the text, that is 1 plus 4. So that is 4.5 is what that should be. So here's my thought process here. Okay. We could do a couple of different things. For this circle, we could do the monogram that we talked about. Let me just pop out here and show you what I'm talking about here. See if I can pull it up on the internet real quick. If we type in, we use this a lot, monogram font. We used to use this a lot. There's a particular one that I used to have, and I probably do still have somewhere, but let me just pull this over so you can see what I'm talking about. So in that circle, you see what I'm talking about? These are embroidery fonts, but there are actual just regular monogram fonts that we could buy, right? There's one. Interlocking Vine is one. This is the one I was thinking of, I think.
Also, the Font Me, if you don't want to buy them, the Font Me and 1001 font, free fonts. You can go in there and download free fonts, guys.
Yeah, and this one,
ChatGPT, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This one's cheap, $1.86. So that's what I was thinking there, right? So we could do a monogram, right? But what can we do with this? I know what we could do with that. We could use our Eufy Make and print right on that bad boy, whatever we wanted, right? And then we could bring our ring back over at the top of that. So, you have to think, hey, if I've got this extra stuff, I got that UV printer sitting there, we could print whatever we wanted to print, a picture of our kids or whatever. And it's just
That
another.
sounds like Kev is trying to tell me I need to get a Eufy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it anyway. So that's
I
what
love
that
it.
sounds like. That's what he's telling me,
Yeah.
y'all.
I love it.
So we can start incorporating that with our prints and mine.
I love it. Yes, I love it.
And I will tell you that you can get a 2-inch mirror, right? So you could get a little tiny mirror and glue in there. So, and then you have a little keychain. You can look at yourself all the time. So touch up your lipstick and stuff that way. All right.
Yes,
so
you can put
Where are you putting the hole at, Kevin, for the keychain?
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And I don't know, maybe we'll even show you how to make this into a can opener as long as we're going there. But yes, that's the next thing. So
you might as well turn it into a can opener since you did the keychain.
right. So we'll go ahead and hit Control I here. And this file is available on the free Patreon. So it's just a little keychain doohickey. So there it is. And this is 4 millimeters thick, 8 millimeters in diameter with a 4 millimeter hole. And boop, we just do that. I do Control 1 so I can look straight down. And
I get the link to the free Patreon.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're gonna make sure you get all the links. Let me see if I can put it in.
So yeah, you probably put it in the chat. But anyhow, you only want this sticking out far enough to hold your jump ring. Now, it really depends on the type of keychain hardware you're using. My hardware has a little jump ring, so it just kind of barely sticks out, right? And but in order for this to print properly, this ring has to be merged to the assembly. So first of all, let's change the color. And then we're going to hit Shift Control the assembly, right click and merge. And so now that is part of the whole thing. And we just converted a lamp into a keychain. But really,
like that.
really, we turned a handheld mirror into a lamp into a keychain.
Really, you're doing a whole bundle.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the key.
Okay. So there's the keychain
opener.
version. So we'll
Have
copy
you,
and
excuse me, did you say
Yeah.
you put shift control assembly or
yes, right. So when we have one piece that's by itself, Shift Control, click the assembly, and then we can right click and merge. Yep. So now, in order to make the can opener, the can opener has to be this piece here. This white piece has to be 6 mil thick. It can be thicker, but it can't be thinner. So we'll go ahead and alt click that and make it 6. Now, doing that, it does mess up everything because you see here the other pieces are now floating, but it's no big deal. We just have to go back into the Z and put them back in place. So this piece is 5, so the Z height for that should be 2.5. Okay. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to back up a second. I'm going to show you a little trick that is kind of useful. When we're doing this, this is what I do, right? Because we have this issue that if we change the thickness of something, that messes up our Z values with everything else. So the workaround to that is to create a dummy. This is our dummy, okay? And so we shift click this, right click and merge. Okay, so this is the dummy. So the way the software works is it always has to be anchored to the build plate. So what I can do here is I can select everything but the dummy. So you see here I've got the assembly selected. So we're going to select all the parts of the assembly, but not the dummy. And we're just going to bring all of this stuff off the build plate. Now, when we change this particular one, and we're going to make it thicker. So we're going to make it 6. It did make both of these thicker, right? But what we're going to do here is use the assembly tool, and we're going to click this face and 0 those out. So now we're back to square one again. And then all we have to do is adjust the delta and the text. So we click on the assembly again, find delta and text, and we'll go ahead and move those vertically. Oh, we'll do delta and text on this one. So we hit delta and text and hover over that little blue arrow and lift it. And then we'll use the assembly tool to put those back. So we'll click on that face and zero those out. And then we can just click on that face and zero that one out. So now those are, it's less work doing it that way. So now I can get rid of the dummy because we don't need that no more. And then as soon as I nudge this or move it, it'll fall to the bottom of our build plate again. And so now we're going to go ahead and put in our can opener piece. This is available on the free Patreon as well. So we hit Control I here. And what we're going to look for is can. So just type in can. And there it is. There's the can. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. So there's our can opener. So we're going to go ahead and grab our assembly. And the first thing we got to do is rotate it. So it's got to rotate in the right orientation. And we're going to move this into place. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's move both of those pieces. Well, it doesn't want to move this piece for some reason. Come on. Come with me. Nope, it still don't. That's okay. We don't need that piece anyhow. We'll just leave. This is a dummy piece because I wanted this piece elevated off the build plate. So we don't really need that piece anyhow because we're going to delete it here in a second. But so we have this, and now you see we have to rotate it. So we're going to go to rotate and just rotate this a little bit, something like that. And we want this just to barely stick out, just like it is. So that's good. Now let's take a look at it here a little closer. I think that will work out okay. All right, now this piece is a negative. You see how it's kind of grayed out? So when we're doing, when we're cutting holes and stuff, it's not a bad idea to do it as a negative. I'll show you how to change that just in a second here. So we're going to click on that and shift control the assembly, right click and merge. Now you can see it doesn't actually give us merge option, even though it should. So we're going to select this piece and then we're going to come over here and we're going to come up here and we're going to click the whole assembly here. So this piece right here is that whole assembly. And then we can click on this right here. We're going to click on that assembly. So now let's try that again. Sometimes it's a little finicky. So we have that assembly selected. Control click this assembly. And for some reason, it doesn't want to do that. Let's see here. There we go. Now we have it. And then I can right click and merge. Okay, so now that that's merged, we no longer need this. That was just a dummy piece. Now, I want to show you how to turn this not into a negative. So we can right click and you see if when it's merged, any piece can become a negative. So when we come in here, change type allows us to do a negative part there. Okay, or we could do a regular part, or we could do a modifier, or we could do all those different options. But in this case, we're doing a negative part. So when we slice it, then just to give you another idea of how we could use the negative part, let's take delta just for this example, and let's move it down a little bit. So we're just going to visually just move it down a little bit. Okay, so you see that shadow? We're inside our block, right? So if I alt click this and right click and hit change type to negative, watch what happens when I slice. So when I slice that, see how it cut a hole? And it also cut our hole for our can opener. So this could be a neat effect, you know, tone on tone like that. That can sometimes be a neat effect. And it can also, obviously, it will save print time because you won't have color changes. So that's how you can utilize that negative effect. But we're going to leave that can opener just like that. So when we slice it, it will cut a hole for us.
And
Now,
guys, sorry, let me real quick. That feature that he just showed y'all with cutting the text out in there, we're going to have a class next week on that because we're going to do the letters with the names on the inside. We're going to do that next week. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So anyhow, it's telling us we need supports. That's what it's telling us. So real quick on can openers, we're going to select this and we're going to go. So we're selecting this piece. We're going to go to support and we are going to enable supports. We're going to do on build plate only. Okay. And then we'll come down here to top Z distance of 0.28. And then one last thing here, top interface layers of 4. And then we have to go to speed. And I like to lower my bridge down to about 20. And the bridge is going to be this piece. Up top here, when it gets up, so down here, it's fine. The issue is right here. How does it span that with no support? Well, that's a bridge. So we slow the speed down to give the opportunity for the filament to cool down a little bit before it adds more filament as it gradually goes across the top. So that's the purpose of that. But that's really the only change on the speed side of things. Now on the strength, I like to use 4 wall loops on can openers, especially. And then the other thing I like to do is the top shell thickness. I'll set that at 2. And then down here where bottom shell layers, I want the thickness to be 2 as well. So what this is saying is these two are like override each other. This says the bottom shell needs to be 2 mil thick, but this says we only need 3 layers. 3 layers at 0.2 millimeters per layer would only be do 0.6. So the bottom layer would be quite thin. So I like to beef it up for can openers. And then on the quality tab here, there are a few options that on the quality tab, we want the default line width to be 0.25. And then we got the outer wall. Let's see here. Yes, top surface, all those things. And then once we have our settings set that one time for can openers, we can save that. So if we go back over here, we can click on that button right there. See, I already have a different profile, but you see I have one for can opener. So so what I could do here on the global side, I can pick, let's go back to global here. So I can pick just my normal option here. And then to choose the can opener settings, I would choose the can opener settings like that.
I highly recommend you guys save a profile just specifically for your can opener, so that way you don't have any issues when it comes to your settings, can opener wise. Just slicing.
Yeah, so see how where it says slice OK, and all we have is just this lead edge is going to be supported, but then it's going to build off of this lead edge as it continues across and in on the top there. So you should have no issues with your slot working as intended. And
the reason we do on our can openers, we do on build plate only when it comes to the supports, because sometimes you get little small supports inside there and you actually end up tearing up trying to get those supports out from on the inside, and it don't even look as pretty as it did when it came off the plate. So
yeah,
that's
see
why
how
we do it.
see how that bridge is right there? So that all that's being unsupported. So that's why we slowed the bridge down as it goes across back and forth there like that.
Trina wants to know, can she get those settings?
Yes. So yeah, I can write them down for you.
Can you just click on each one and then we can screenshot it?
Oh, sure. So we could start here. Well, yeah, it might be a little bit difficult, but the main thing is we enable supports on build plate only. And then down here under advanced, top Z distance is 0.28 and the interface layers is 4. And that will take care of the support tab. On the speed tab, the only thing we have to change is the bridge to 20. That's what I usually use. And then on the strength, we'll start from the top here. We'll do 4 wall loops is what I recommend. And then we come down here to the top shell thickness of 2. And then the bottom shell thickness of 2.
We got a little ahead of ourselves. Somebody just texted me and asked me, are we still doing the wine?
Yes. We're going to do it. Yes, I promise. No more. We're done with Delta. And then, so that takes care of strength. 4 wall loops, and then 2 shell thickness, 2 bottom shell thickness. And then on the quality tab, these are the settings we want to use. So
that's what I gotta get for me with bamboo, all bamboo system.
That's why I stress, we can't stress that enough. You get one with your slicer guide. This is where you print from. You print from here. Why wouldn't you be one with it?
Yeah.
So will these settings work with other things also, like that need supports?
No, this profile is for can openers. We're not saying they can't work, but this specifically, we know this work for can openers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything's a little bit different. Every printer's a little bit different. And honestly, even the filament that you're using can, a certain filament, the way it extrudes, you might need to go a little bit slower, right? It gives us these generic profiles as a jumping off point, but we might need our filament to be a little hotter in order to flow the way we want it to flow. So there's a lot of variables that, and a lot of it is honestly trial and error. Hey, because I know when I was printing PETG especially, I was having a little bit of issue because my heat was at the manufacturer recommended temperature, and I was having issues. And I noticed if I upped my heat by 10 degrees, then all my issues vanished. I just needed to be just a touch hotter than what the manufacturer suggested. So yeah, so those can change. Let me save this. We'll call it Delta. I don't know. Are we going 4 hours again? We better not.
Listen, it looks like it. I said 2 hours, and yeah, we're almost 4 hours in.
Well, I guess it's just because we're baddies and we like to make stuff.
Oh my God. Yes, that's what happens.
We not complaining.
That's what happens. So I know some of you gotta go. If you can stick around, Kev's gonna show the wine real quick. The wine, how to do that wine thing someone had put in there. And then after Kev, because I want to complete the Delta set as well with him, since he went so hard, like he did. I feel some type of way, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. He done sat in here and did a can opener, keychain,
He did a whole bundle.
Yeah, some type of
a
way,
whole
y'all.
bundle.
Yeah. So I heard somebody say they wanted a pen holder, and I had suggested the notepad.
That was me.
Wasn't big. All right. So guess what? Once he finished with the wine, I'm gonna go ahead and finish y'all off and take y'all out for the night with the pen holder and the notepad, the finished Delta.
Yeah. Woo! All right. Well, I'm gonna blaze through this then. Okay. So do we like AI? Do we not like AI? I like AI for certain things.
Hey, I love AI.
So do I.
So let me show you what we're gonna make. So this, let's see here. Yep. Let's go ahead and double click on this. So that's what
Ray said. I love it here. Oh, Ray, we love you. Love it here, baby.
Look, I started some. I said a pen holder, and it turned to a whole bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we're making. Okay. And I just thought this was a really cute idea, like a really cute idea. Now we might take it to the next level, but this cute little idea. So, and another example of this, I don't think I have it on my desktop, but it said happy birthday. and it had a little bottle of whiskey or whatever. But so we're going to make something similar to this, but a little bit different. And but this really should open your eyes up to why Inkscape is so cool. Now, what we're going to do in Inkscape, you could do in Silhouette, you could probably do in Canva, you could do in lots of different programs. Inkscape is free, and Silhouette is not. So if you don't already have Silhouette, I wouldn't recommend buying it because we could do it in Inkscape for free. So this is where my jumping off point was. So this is what I thought. We're gonna use this. So you can see it's a real simple prompt in chat, right? I don't like going through fonts and looking at fonts and I got so many fonts on my computer. I don't know what's what. So I just add chat, give me a thick script font that says wine. I mean, it don't get much simpler than that, right? And this is what chat gave me. So I saved it, I saved the image, and now we can come into Inkscape and make it happen. And you'll be probably pretty surprised at how wildly quick this project really is. So let's go ahead and import it. Now, yes, I do have a lot of experience, but you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. So there it is. We need the JPEG version of it. So there it is. Now, this isn't exactly what we need, but she's pretty close. So what we're going to do is turn it into a vector, and we're going to right-click and trace bitmap. When we're dealing with black and white images, Inkscape is amazing at conversion. When we're dealing with multiple colored images, not so much. But black and white, we can knock those out quick, quick, quick. So we'll hit apply. There you go. So now we have our vector version, okay? Now, maybe what we should do here is go ahead and just drop in our image just so we can kind of see it side by side here. This is what we want. So how do we get there? So what we need to do here, you could notice that the W is kind of connected, right? You see that? The I is connected, the N here, and the E, right? So those are kind of connected. So we got to do that. And right now they're not connected. So the first thing we have to do is what I call the chop suey method. We got to chop all this up. So the way we do that is grab our pen tool. That's the B key on our keyboard. Or we could come all the way over here and click on this little icon. And we're just going to click. And we do have snapping turned on. And we're going to click right there in the corner. Then we're going to come up here to this corner and click. And then right click when we're done. So that's all we did, okay? Now, the next thing we want to do is, well, where's my next cut? Well, we got to chop the eye here. So we're going to hold the shift key down and click. That's the only difference this time. Shift click, and then we can let go after we make that first point, and then click, click, and click, and right click, okay? Now, why are we holding shift? Well, the reason that we're holding shift is it will add to what we already did. If we didn't, then it would just create us a new part. And that's not terrible, but we're trying to save us one step later. So if you can remember to hit shift, that's better to do that. The other thing that we need to do is, you see this tail? We need to cut that away from the end. So shift, click up here, and we're just eyeballing. We're just going to come down here and whoop, wherever we want, okay? That's it. So now it does, notice, I wanted to show you this because the devil's in the details. I clicked right there on the end. And when I did that, you see how this kind of looks weird? And it's because I clicked right on the end. So when we're doing this, we want to shift click outside and then click. It's just a weird little Inkscape thing. And then right click. And see, now we have what we expected to have. So we got to come outside, shift click, and then we can click, and then we can click. So you see, I just created that line, and what we're going to eventually do is just chop those tails. That's all we're doing. So click outside, and I did not hold my shift key, so that was bad. That was my bad. But we could just double click, and then go back into pen, hold my shift key again, and then I just need that first point, and then click, click, and we got to come outside and click. Okay, that was added to what we already had. And then one more little piece. Shift click, click, let go, click, click, click. And there we go. So now we have all of our pieces to cut. Now, if we go into outline mode, now we can see those pieces a little bit more clearly, right? You see all those pieces there? So now that we have that, then that is all one piece. You can see that it's all one path right here. So then I can shift click my wine text, and then I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut of Control /. Now that's the same as if we went to path and division. So you see right there, it says Control +/. Now, one other point to make. I'm going to make a separate video of this, just this. That's all it's going to be. So this will be available as a separate video to watch again, and then you won't have to scrub through the whole class. So this will be, I will separate this one. But what we've done here, as you can see, you see here how we have all these pieces now, right? So we don't need this. Goodbye. We don't need this. We don't need this. And this right here, we're just going to move down here. We're just going to make this touch. Just a little bit of overlap, doesn't hurt. That's all we have to do, right? And then over here on the W, we're going to use our Control key, and we'll just slide it over. We just need just some overlap, okay? And then the N, slide it over, some overlap. And then here, some overlap, right? Now, this looks a little weird. So what we can do here is we can just click here on this path and just pull it out. Now we can also, if we really want to be nitpicky here, we can click on a node and you have these little control handles. So you could, you could really fine tune exactly how you want it to look here. Now there's maybe a little bit of a bubble right there. I call it a bubble, but just a little bit. There's a couple of nodes there that I'm not in love with. So what I did was I added a node on the other side of what I'm not in love with, and then I'm going to delete what's ever in the middle. And now, you see, nice and smooth, right? So now what we have to do is we have to get everything on one plane. So let's just drag a guide down just so we can see this a bit more clearly. So you see our W is hanging down, the N's hanging down, and the I here is floating in space. So we can make those changes really easy. Now in the original picture, let's go back to that. You see how the W was? It was taller than everything else, and I don't know if I want that. Maybe I do. But if I did, what we could do here is we could just come in here and click, and see we could stretch those nodes up. I mean, that would be one way to do it. Or we could just, and I want to experiment with this a little bit. What if I just drag this, just scaled it up a little bit? So if we hold our Control key down, that will, so it was just a little bit taller. Something like that, okay? But I'm going to put this right there on the guide there. So now you can see wine is up top there. And I think I like that. We'll run with it. This I might scooch a little bit, though. I don't want that touching the W. Okay? And then on this, I'm just going to double click, and a fun little thing you can do here, when you double click, we can hold down the Alt key and grab nodes like that. So that's a real easy way to grab nodes. And we're just going to drag this down so that one's touching, just like that. Okay? And we're going to do something similar here. Alt key, click those, and drag them down. And what we're trying to do as we drag is kind of keep that same angle, right? So it doesn't look weird after we get it down there. And now this, we've got to do the opposite thing. So Alt click, like so, and we're just going to drag it up. But again, we're going to try and see what I was talking about. We're going to try and keep it at the same angle so it doesn't look weird once we do drag it up, right? So there you go. So now everything is kind of on one plane. Now, this has a sharp point right here, this one. And so I may want to do something with that. So let's just double click on it. And there's a node right next to it, which we really don't want. So we're going to add a node over here and then click on this one and just hit your delete key. And I'll explain why we didn't want that node right there. So let's click on that and hit delete key again. Because I want to do a path effect, a corner path effect. So to do that, we're going to come up here to path effects and apply a corner path effect. And when I do that, you see that little dot right there? If there was a node right there, it would only round this up to that node. So now we can round all the way up to this one. But we're just going to grab that little dot and drag it. So you see how now we've rounded that off? And I think I like that better. Okay. Now we have to set that. So we're going to go to path and object to path and double click on it. And we're going to do the same thing. Just drag those, right? We hold our Alt key down. We drag those nodes. And all we're going to do is pull this down. So what I usually will do is add a node right there where I want to drag it to, and then Alt click. Because then I can click on that node and drag it straight down. So now if we stand back and look at our end, proportionally, you know, everything looks solid, right? So we're going to do the same thing with the eye. I just want to round off this sharp point here. So double click on it so we don't have any nodes in our way. This one's far enough away. So we could just come in here and do our corner again. And we have this one right here. So we just go ahead and drag it up. So now we've got that nice and round. So we're good to go there. Path, object to path, and double click. I want to add a node right where I want to drag from. And yep, I can grab all of these and just pull it down to that guideline. And there you go. So now all that is on one plane. Our W is just a little bit taller. And that's it. The artwork part of our project is complete, except for this, right? This little guy. So let's go ahead and do that. So grab our text tool, and we're just going to type in time. And we can leave it like that. I kind of like that kind of blocky font with the script. We could do that. But I did download a font that I think I have it in here. I didn't actually test it. You know what? It's not in there. The font that I selected for this project is not in there. So we're going to use this because I kind of like that too. So we're going to scale it down, obviously. So we'll scale it down a little bit. And we'll call it good, just like that. I do kind of like the different, maybe scale it up just a little bit. I was going to show you how to take one of our cap logos and utilize it with the same idea. So the idea is this, and maybe I'll make a separate video. That's what I'll do rather than keep it tonight. I'll make a separate video. But the idea is to take one of our cap logos. I was going to use the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And then type out the word Eagles, and then we'll have our cap logo behind the word Eagles. But anyhow, basically do the same thing, but make like a little snack tray. So we could have our drink, you know, have our bottle of wine, but then over here, like we did on the Delta side, we have a little snack tray on this side where we could put chips or whatever, you know, nuts or something like that. Just to give you an idea of how you could take the same concept and just kind of rework it a little bit and do something different. All kinds of things you can do. You just got to think of them. So now we basically have our layout the way we want it, but this text, we have to set the text. So we do have to come up here to path and object to path, and now we can save this SVG. So let's go ahead and save it, and then we'll save it on the desktop here, and we'll call it wine holder, I guess. So there's wine holder, save. All right, so now back into Bamboo and Control I. And let's see, on our desktop here, there's our wine holder. Okay, now she's too big, so we got to scale her down. And that X position, uniform scale, has to be 240. Now, I do not know, let me look this up real quick. I do not know how wine, let's do this. Let's do standard wine bottle dimensions. Does anybody know how big a wine bottle is? It is approximately 12 inches. So it says a diameter of 3 inches to 3.2 inches. Okay, that's going to be important. All right, so we know that the wine bottle is 3 inches. Let's just call it 3 inches for safe figuring. 3 inches is 75 millimeters. So this is going to be 90. Okay, so the main piece here is going to be 90. But now we did each letter a separate piece for a reason. So let's go ahead and just select 2 of our letters here and make those 90. So we're going to turn off uniform scale and we're going to do 90. And then the other letters, let's go ahead and make those, how big? Let's see here. Let me think. What do I want to do here? So those are 90.
85.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about 6 less? Let's do 85. That sounds good. And then, so you could see here, the 85s are floating. So we have to set those on the bill plate. So we're going to go back here, and half of 85 would be 42 and a half. Okay, and then this one, the I has to be 42 and a half as well. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then we have our time. So let's go ahead and alt-click our time and change the color. And then we're going to move that. Let's make that, I don't know, let's do 3. We'll try 3. And then we'll move that. So actually, that's going to mess us up a little bit. No, it won't. It'll give us, let's see, let me think about this for a second. All right, I thought about it. I know exactly what to do. So I do want this. I want that little dip there. So it does complicate matters though. So let's see. All right, I gotta kind of walk you through this and explain what we're gonna do here, because it's actually a cool little thing. So this is 90. This is 85. There's a 5 millimeter difference there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something that we did earlier, and that is we want this time to sit on top of N and E only. And I'll explain how this is all going to come together here. So, but it needs to be, time needs to be at least 5, but then also 2 on top. So this time is going to be 7 millimeters thick. Okay, it's not going to make any sense right now, folks, but trust me, we're going to get there. So for right now, let's put this on top of N. So this is 7 millimeters. So it's 93 and a half. So we're going to go 93.5. And so now you can see that that is sitting on top of N, right? So what we're going to do here, though, is we're going to just move this over a little bit. I want this to only sit on top of N and E. So we're going to slide it over a little bit. Doesn't need to be slid much. So now you can see it's not sitting on I. Okay. Now, we got to think ahead a little bit. How in the world are we going to print that? Because look, we've got a cantilever here. We've got an I kind of floating out here into space. These are all things we got to consider. So what are we going to do there? Well, we got to fudge it one way or another to make it work. So let's go back over here and let's move this over. And I think we're going to be okay right there. So let me walk you through this. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole, right? We're going to lower this down. We're going to cut a hole in the N and cut a hole in the E. We're going to have just a little ledge here for our I to be glued to our N. And then also the T, we're going to be able to glue to our N. So we've got enough here to glue these parts in place. So let's do this, and it'll all make more sense here in a second. So we're going to take this and move it down In this case, we have to subtract 5. So help me out here. 3 would be, and then 2 more. So this would be 88. Okay. So now we've moved it down. And so now you can see what we've got. This E is sitting right on this E. And then you can see how we have this M being cut in. All these are being cut in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this and copy and paste it. So let's just make a duplicate and set it aside for a second. I want to focus on this right here. Now remember what I said earlier about making parts negative? So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go right click and change to negative part. Okay. And so now that will cut our holes like we need to in Y. So let's come back over here and kind of finish things up here. So this I left separate, and I did that on purpose. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move this more toward, now this is 10 millimeters thick, I believe, just about. Let's go ahead and make it 10. So that's 10, and then we're going to raise that in the Z more towards the front of our eye here. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is actually have it sticking proud of the eye, just like that. Okay, so I think that does look pretty good. So we'll call it good there. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to make our cylinder for our wine bottle. So we're going to right click and add a primitive cylinder, and we're going to make it 3 inches in diameter. So that is, I tell you what, let's do it 80 because 3 inches is 75. So that'll just give us a little bit of wiggle room for the wine bottle. So let's do 80 and 80. And then let's do, I don't know, 100. Okay, something like that. Now we're going to go ahead and rotate this. So we're going to rotate it in the X, like so. So remember when we did our puck, we did something similar. We're going to just slide this over, right? So we want to raise this off the build plate so we can center our cut. But we want to also consider how deep it's going into our holder here. Okay, so it's going to be something like this. So we can go even, we could, right? See that the bottle would show if we did that. So maybe we just don't go quite so deep, something like that. Okay, however you want to do it. I don't think it probably matters just a whole lot, but I like that. Now the bottle is sticking out there. I don't know if I like that though. Of course, we could slide it over a little bit, and that would mitigate that. And then you see the bottom of the bottle here. I don't know. It's just barely sticking out, so we could probably still move it over a little bit. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. So let's just call it good there. I think that's fine. We've got plenty of stuff over there, so I think that's good. I think that's good. Now, again, we don't have to monkey with this, right? We don't have to. We do want to take our cylinder, shift control, the other piece, right click and merge. We do want to do that. And then this is 90. So we are going to make this 45 off the build plate. And that will center that front to back. Okay, so you see the space here is the same space up top. But we need to change this to a negative part. So we select it, right click, change to negative part. And then when we slice, that's when we'll get our hole. We won't get our hole right now. And sometimes that bugs people. Now, I want to do one more thing, I think, just because we can. And in the picture, let's go back over here. This is what I was thinking anyhow. In the picture, you see how they stuck some flowers in there? But what I thought might be nice is to do something similar to this, but to put a hole here. But let's come out here and take a look at what I'm talking about here. So if we go to Amazon, and let's look at flower vase. but not a vase. What do we call that?
Like a tube.
Yeah, maybe I'll use tube. But you get the idea. So we'll hit tube. Well, I say we will, but I don't know how to type apparently. Tube. Yes. Okay, this is what we want. Something like this. Now, you see, this is, let's go ahead and click on this. Well, these are plastic, but they do make glass ones. Yeah, this is plastic, but you get the idea. We could put some little flowers in there, and so this is only 3 inches, and you can see here it tells us that it's 0.78 inches wide. I went to school for architecture and electrical engineering, so we learned about decimals and millimeters and all that stuff. So I know, looking at that, that's about 3/4 of an inch. But I know most people don't understand their decibels necessarily. So what we're going to do back over here in Bamboo is we're going to go ahead and take this cylinder, copy and paste it, and we're going to move it, and we'll slide it over, and then we physically can change the diameter. So 3/4. Go ahead. Somebody have a question? Nope. Okay. 3/4 of an inch is basically 37.5. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to oversize it. So I would say maybe 40, something like that, 40, 42, whatever you want to do there. But we're going to change the physical size of it. So 42. Oh, we were in move apparently. Oh, what do we got going on here? Let me get out of that. Let me back up here. There we go. So we were in move. We need to be in scale. I knew something didn't look right. So we'll do 40 by 40. Okay. So now we're just going to cut a hole to hold our tube, but I want to slide it over so it's in between here. So we could look straight down, hit Control-1 and see how we can look at it straight down now. So we'll slide this over a little bit. Hold on just a second here.
And I think I'm going to spin the block on this for Silhouette and Tinkercad people.
Okay. So that's pretty good. So we'll run with that. So
It's gonna be really nice.
This is still a negative. Okay. So now we can go ahead and slice. This will take some supports. So because we have these big holes, so we do have some cantilevers going on. This is probably a 7-hour print, maybe. I'm just guessing. Holy buckets, 13 hours. But you see right there, we got the big hole, right, for the wine bottle. And then we've got the little hole for the little flower tube. And you see here, we have, now here's, we got a problem because, oh no, right. So this is because the M, but the E, remember the E is sitting right on top of this. So that's why you don't see it cut into it. So I am actually going to go in. I want that E to be cut into this. So when we start gluing this, we know the exact placement. And it's really easy to fix. But see where I was talking about? We've got that whole edge to, because we're going to print the white on a separate build, right? But we've got this whole edge that we can glue there. We've got plenty of glue space there, plenty of glue space for our M.
And those tubes I was talking about, those bottles I use with the glue, this would be perfect to use them with that needle because you can get down there in those little crevices without using too much glue and end up having to try to clean it up and have white and stuff on there.
Yep. So let's go ahead and make that small change so we can do this. So what we'll do is we're just going to alt click this piece. We're going to make it 1 more mil thick. So it's going to be 8. And then we're going to move it down 1 more mil. So we can go here. So instead of 88, it'll be 87. So we'll hit 87. Okay. And then when we reslice the plate here, we should see a slight groove inside our E. And if you want to do the mesh bullion and make your holes permanent, it's not that big a deal, because we do have the SVG. So if for some reason we wanted to do something else with this, we could. But I would love for somebody to print this and actually see it. But so you see what I was talking about there with the E? Now we just have that little bit of recess there, so we can get all of our alignment absolutely perfect. And now we also have some additional glue space for the M. So now we have all those parts perfect there. Now, so that takes care of the main wine piece. Now there is one more thing that we need to do over here is let's go ahead and add some build plates. You know me, I like 6 build plates. Let's move this over here. And then we got to make a copy of this. So what we would do here is go ahead and set this up like so. So we can get, our screenshot, right? And then what I do here on the global is I ditch that prime tower so I can just so I can get a picture without that prime tower in the background, right? But what we got to do is copy this and paste it because we need to get the time. So we're going to flip that down and we're going to alt click on this. Get rid of, actually, we're just going to click here and go to objects and get rid of the pieces here like we really should. So all the black pieces, rather than click them one by one, we can just ditch them right there. So there's time. Okay. Now what we have to do here is, first of all, this has to be 7 because that's what we ultimately went with. So let's go to scale. And is that what we did? Did we do 7? Let's just double check that. Alt click here and look at the scale. We did 8. Okay, that makes sense because I knew we added a millimeter, but I thought it was 7. So make that 8. And then we have one more setting. So we need these pieces to fit perfectly in there. They're not going to fit perfectly in there because these are the exact same size, right? So we need these to be a shade smaller. So what we're going to do is select that part and then come over to the quality tab. And under precision, we have XY contour. And so we want to enter a negative value, 0.35. That's what I usually always use. And now those will print just a fraction smaller than that, and they should fit in perfectly. So there you go. And of course, the nice thing about the way we made this with this time being negative is it's not permanent. I can pull that out. Like when you get this file, you can pull that out and spend all day looking for the perfect font to fit in there in place of it and kind of redo what we just did. Got to be 8 mil thick, right? And position it the way we did here, and you're golden. So if you were to switch this out, we would alt click this, and you want to pay attention to the Z and make whatever font you choose 8 millimeters. That's it. And if you enter that same Z value with your font and it's 8 millimeters thick, change it to a negative part, and you're golden. So really, really simple once you understand like how it all works. So you could do names, you could do all kinds of different things. You really, sky's the limit. It gives you lots of different ideas now.
So somebody wanted to know, was the prime tower automatic or did you add it?
It's automatic. When you pick any of these standard profiles here, it's always going to give you a prime tower. But I turned it off. So yeah, you want to go back and turn it on. Because in this case, we don't actually need it because there's no prime tower over here because we're actually printing in 2 separate plates. But if you did have multiple colors on one plate, you would need a prime tower.
I got a quick question real quick. Why do you use the mesh subtraction or the negative? Like, is it a specific reason why you use one or another?
Not necessarily. Sometimes, it just kind of depends on what we're doing.
Okay.
There's no real right or wrong. Some people,
Because I use negative all the time. So you just kind of showed me a different way with the subtraction. Because what you did, I usually do a negative object, but the mesh subtraction is also pretty cool. I don't use it that way, but I'm gonna try it that way also.
normally, like when we're making files for customers,
Mhm.
we cut the holes.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I think most people probably don't understand how negatives work, and then they open this up and they're like, "What in the hell is that?"
Right.
Because they're not used to seeing that.
Right,
They're used to the final product. So usually when we're making files, we'll cut. We'll cut a
Okay.
permanent hole, but I don't like to cut a permanent hole because we may want to repurpose it, and then I got to go back and fix the hole I cut and all that monkey business.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I use negative a lot. Okay, I just wanted to get a perspective. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I have a question, Kevin. So
Okay.
when you cut in the hole, it make you go back. But if you do it this way, it's better to manipulate it or do whatever you need to do without having to start the process all over again.
Yeah, well, like this is a perfect example. If I cut this hole, right, I could cut that hole. But what if you say, well, geez, I wish this hole wasn't here because I don't want to do one of those little flower tubes. I just want the bottle of wine. That's it, right? Well, all you would have to do is delete that part, and then boom, you got what you want. But if I went and cut that hole in there, now we got issues because how do you not have the hole in there? You'd have to rework the whole thing. It could be done, but it'd be a lot of extra work.
Right, that's what I was saying. It save you time and work, so that makes sense. Yeah. And then, like you said, what if you could do it either way? If you want it, if you don't, it just it make more sense. Thank you.
Yeah. I like non-destructive editing basically, and especially like this, right? Most people might not even like that particular font, so we could just ditch that. You can put whatever you want in there, and there you go. Or you might want to put like somebody's last name, like the Millers or something, right? You don't want the word time. So that's just another option.
It's all about giving more options. We love options. Because this one file could be used for birthdays, anniversaries, a number of things.
Yeah, you could.
It's just like endless to it.
Like instead of time right there, you could put 50th, right? And then boom, it's for anniversary. And it'd be a wine holder for the 50th anniversary. So
nice birthday gift too at 60 whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. Just don't limit yourself to one design when you can make it into multiple.
Right. Yeah. And that's we aim to when we design majority of our files, we design them to have multiple uses.
Well, we did that. I did that cap gift box. And since I created that cap gift box, I've had a lot of people say, so when I made it originally, I was thinking sports teams, right? But I've had so many people say, well, like, could you do Ariat? Could you do Wrangler? Could you do a Harley Davidson? All these different logos that have nothing to do with sports. I was at eating lunch today, and a guy had a hunting hat on. And I thought, oh, that'd be a good idea, right? For the hunters out there.
It'd be nice if you could do a queen crown for the women.
Yeah, do a pink hat, absolutely. So it really got me to thinking, oh my God, I got a lot of logos to make, right? You could stick anything on these damn hats. So yeah. So anyhow, let's do this wine holder. Okay. So we'll get this. We'll get the wine holder set up for you. We'll get all the Delta files. We're gonna get a Delta lampshade, I'm sure, to finish off our lamp.
So where are we getting the files from? Off of who?
It'll be on my Patreon. So when the class is done, then I'll put it on my Patreon, and this will be on the free Patreon. So, because this was kind of like a pop-up event, so it'll be on the free Patreon to download these files. Now you should join our Patreon, because the idea, the concept is, if you join the Patreon, you pay that $10 a month, and we get enough people paying $10 a month. That's what allows us to do the free training.
Yes, it's worth it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the process of it, but yeah, you get all the files too, so that's a bonus also. So, yep. So that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna stop. I'm out.
I just realized what it's after 11. Oh my God.
I appreciate that one. That was very informative.
Yes, look, we happy. Look, we hanging in with y'all. Look, now you want to look. Y'all don't look at the time. We having fun.
So do y'all want to do the pen holder and the notepad? Y'all want to do that in the class tomorrow?
Yes, if you have to go, yes, ma'am. We happy for what y'all did.
Yes, very appreciative.
We
learned a lot today.
Yeah, we don't be too greedy.
All right, we'll let y'all process that. Y'all got some stuff to work on, and then tomorrow.
And I'm gonna have 2 videos. So I'll have the full length video, and then I'm gonna break this wine bottle down all by its lonesome, if you just want to focus on that particular project. So,
can you drop the link to the Patreon?
Yes, I put both of them in here. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pin it.
And then the recorded video of this is going to be where?
On my YouTube channel. So that'll be on All Things Creative on YouTube.
Creative. Okay, cool.
We appreciate you both so much.
All of our previous classes are already on there as well. So if you want to peruse, I mean, I got lots and lots of videos, but if you type in, like, if you search live class, then you'll see all the previous live classes.
Hey, do you mind if you post your link in our Facebook group?
Oh no, we encourage you to do that. And like, if you belong to other 3D printing groups and you want to post the link when we do our live classes, we encourage you to invite everyone. I do have an upcoming Blender class on Saturday that is only for the $20 Patreon members. That's just a special kind of more advanced. That's why we call the $20 tier the baddies, because it's a more advanced 3D modeling in Blender. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the cap box, the flat bill cap box, gift box, but we're going to do it smaller to say print time, but also smaller to fit an A1. A lot of people were wanting to print that box, but they are on an A1 mini, and so we're going to make it fit that build plate.
Okay.
I have a question.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have to be advanced order to join the $20?
No, not necessarily. No, if you want to become a baddie, that's the way to do it. Because we'll have special training classes that are more advanced training classes. But this cap, I feel like, even though it's somewhat complicated, you'll just have to see the class, right? But I really feel like, even though somebody with no Blender knowledge whatsoever, I really feel like if they digest the class, watch it live, and then watch it a couple of times, at your own pace, and then try, I really think you can get it. Like, I really do. I'm going to try and go step by step, click by click, so it really locks in, and I think you could create something similar. And then once you have some success with one project, then that's going to spur you to want to do others. I don't know if you were in the class the other night. We use Blender to create the plate, to create the little plate for our candle holder. And that little project was super simple.
I just missed that class and joined the class last night. but I'm
I
going
got
to
you.
be on the other one though.
Well, you can scrub through that class is live that I'm talking about. That class is live on YouTube, and you can scrub through to the Blender portion where we make that little rounded plate that goes on top of the candle holder. It's a real simple little project, kind of a little entry level project for you.
Okay. I will check it out. Thank you.
All right.
Are your logos on your website yet for the
Not
hats?
yet. Not yet. I got them. I got piles of them. Can you see my screen? So I got piles of them still on the still floating around here. Like I did the Alabama one, and I did Bulldogs and Clemson and.
Yeah.
I got bunches of them, but I just haven't had the time. I even did a Gucci and Chanel one just messing around. But yeah, I've got this is one I did for a custom one that I did for a customer. So yeah, if you guys want like a custom logo done for your local high school team or college team, we could do that. I did a Razorbacks one. So yeah, I've got tons.
You in South Carolina, Kevin?
What's that?
Are you in South Carolina?
No, I am in Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because I see them all South Carolina. That's why I asked.
Oh, the SC State one, you mean?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, that was for a customer. Yep. So but yeah, I got the Buccaneers logo here. But yeah, I've got a bunch of the football teams already done. I just haven't had a chance to get them all uploaded yet. But so they're coming.
Is it going to be a bundle or?
Yes. So they're $3. They're $3 a logo, or you get per league. So we have like the NFL league and the so yeah, I've got the Chiefs and the Rams and the Raiders and the Steelers and the Texans and but anyhow, per league, it'll be $40 for all. Like the NFL, I think has 32 teams. I think Major League Baseball has 32 teams, and I forgot how much the NBA had. But each league will be $40, but it'll include the logos for all teams in those leagues. Or you can just buy bits and pieces for $3 a logo.
That's gonna be nice.
I just need my Falcon one so I can complete my hat, Kevin.
What you need?
Thank you. My Falcons one so I can complete my hat.
So yes, that's a good point. If any of you have bought the gift box hat and are still missing your logo, please send me an email. Don't send me a message because they get buried. So send me an email, and then I will make sure I get it to you.
What should the subject be for the email, Kevin? That way you can you could decipher those from the other emails.
Yeah, just say need cap logo, and then and then you could put Falcons or whatever afterwards. So if you're missing a logo that I owe you, send me an email and I'll make sure I get it to you.
You want me to send it again? Because I sent it when we first got on the call when you were saying do it. I just replied to the file. So you want me to send it and put that in the subject? I can.
Yeah, if you could send me a separate email. It's weird. I don't understand exactly why my email program does it, but it like condenses. So like when somebody replies to an email that I forwarded, they're all in one email, and I have to go through and try and decipher. It's really strange. I wish I knew how to split it out, but I don't. But at any rate, yeah, if you just send me an email and say, hey, I need this logo, I'll make sure you get it.
Okay, thanks.
Quick question, Kevin.
Yeah.
Will you have classes in Silhouette, or will you just do Inkscape and I can't think of that other one.
Yeah, I think Anya's going to do all the Silhouette classes and Tinkercad if you want to work that workflow. But I'm going to be doing all, well, not necessarily all, but I'm going to focus on Inkscape, Blender, and Bamboo.
So for your classes that the ones that you have, your baddie special or the baddie group, that's all Inkscape,
Right.
or is it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's all going to be in Inkscape, Bamboo, and Blender.
Okay.
Or it's gonna be beginner class, or this is all advanced class.
So basically, the only way you get Silhouette over there on Kev's side is when we go live like this together, and I teach something in Silhouette, and then he teaches in Inkscape because they go on his YouTube.
Yeah. So I didn't want to speak for Anya. She may want to pop in there from the Vanity group and do some Silhouette ones, but yeah, we hadn't talked about that. So you may get, she may pop in and give you one or two here and there.
That's not a problem.
Yeah. So but yeah, I try to approach all training, all the classes, as if you didn't have any knowledge. We want you to be successful and pop in on whatever class you want. And I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, and I think those videos are probably more step by step. So the concept when I recorded those videos was literally assuming you know nothing about Inkscape, this is where we begin type thing. In the live class, we have to kind of move a little bit quicker to get through the product. Otherwise, we're 5 hours in, right? So that's why we're trying to pack a bunch of stuff in, but it just takes time. So anyhow, there's lots of videos about everything. So if you want to do can openers or lamps or, there's just all kinds of different videos on my YouTube channel, literally hundreds of videos. So if you want to learn about a particular topic, you should be able to find it, on there. But it is going to be Inkscape focused. Yes.
Okay. Maya, are you coming on tomorrow? I'm sorry.
I am. We can do the notepad, we can do the pen holder. What are we doing about the lamps? Are we doing lamp tomorrow?
I just need a lamp shade for the Delta.
I know that, but remember the other ones we talked about?
Oh, Kyle Busch?
No. Remember the designer ones?
Oh, we could do one. Maybe one.
Okay.
You could show them the lamp shade, and then I'm going to show you. That's a good project. So the other night we did the Chanel candlestick holder, right? The candle holder. And then today I had somebody wanting the Gucci and the Louis Vuitton. And so our idea is to take one of those candle holders and turn it into a lamp. So we'll take the candle holder, we'll show you how to turn it into a lamp, and then Anya will knock us out a matching lampshade for our lithophane, and then we'll have that as a completed file for you. So and that won't take long. That's a pretty straightforward, simple little project.
Anything else?
What's your YouTube channel?
It's All Things Creative. So if you go on YouTube and just type in All Things Creative.
It's in the comments.
Okay, it's in the comments. Yeah, you should be able to find it. And it's on our groups too. If you our Facebook groups, I have the STL 3D Warehouse Facebook group, and then the 3D Trendsetters group as well.
Yes, the mirror was done.
Yes, the mirror is done. It's okay. You can pick up. You can catch the playback, and once Kev get situated after we wrap this up, and he get the files uploaded, they'll be available as well.
Yep, I will do it.
I'll get my lamp finished up and get that file loaded as well. Anybody got any more questions?
You guys are amazing. I mean, learning the things that we've been taught just in these few classes that we have attended so far have really taken us to like a different level. I mean, it's a lot of homework that we want to go back and review the videos and do and get the gist of things ourselves, but it's nothing like any of these other groups. And like I said, I will be dropping a lot of these other Patreons that I'm following and groups that I'm in already, because we're dealing with such a headache just by trying to find out little simple answers to different questions and stuff, and joining this group and finding out the knowledge and getting the knowledge that we have received from you guys has just been amazing. So
And one thing just real quickly for those that don't know, I do offer one-on-ones, and the way my one-on-ones work, the first session is just $15. So it's for an hour. It's kind of scheduled for an hour, but if we go an hour and a half or whatever it takes to complete whatever project you want to see demonstrated, that's an option for you. You can go to my Patreon and purchase that $15 initial training. Now that's if I've never done a class for you, that's just kind of like an introductory offer. Beyond that, if you wanted a second or third class, I charge $30 an hour is what I charge. And I know Anya has a similar program where she's available for some one-on-one if you're interested more in Silhouette Studio and Tinkercad side of things. So anyhow, it's an option. If you need something custom designed, we both can do that as well. So there's options out there for you.
Hey
You
Steve,
just
it's
pick your
Swan.
poison.
So I'm over here now. I got booted last night, but
We
I'm
seen
gonna be
that.
joining your baddie.
We seen that, but we let you stay. We're not like that over here. We welcome all. It doesn't matter. We just want to teach. We want to learn and teach and grow together as a whole. Like it's not enough.
Oh, but I'm
unity.
always one that's floating. Like no one can hold me anywhere. Like I've always been that person. So that's how I was found to get over there. They found me somewhere else. But yeah, so I'll be joining your baddie just so I can listen to your videos. I just like being everywhere. I have a FOMO, fear of missing out, so I got to be everywhere.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well, glad to have you.
Welcome. Yes, we are. We seen this was your second night. I said, okay. She
I
liked
was like,
it.
she come to check it out, and she stayed a long time.
Oh yeah, I got booted last night from the universities. So yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Boy, that's a bunch of us got hit.
Yeah, well, this is a different side of the streets over here. So yeah, but I definitely enjoyed you guys as always. We was able to maintain wonderful numbers throughout. We'll get the files up to you. Please just be patient with us. Oh my God, we got so much going on.
And if you have something you want to see demonstrated, like a specific logo, we would rather be demonstrating what you guys want specifically than just some random thing that we created ourselves.
Yes.
So yeah, if you need help with like converting PNGs to SVGs or whatever it is you really want to focus on, you can send either one of us the details, and we'll see about what we could do in the live. So the information we're covering is what you want to see.
Right. And I don't know if Levita's still in here, but like I said, post, you guys. Do not be afraid to post. You do not have to be afraid to ask questions, okay?
And
she
was-
put her Tumblr in there today. It had 199 color changes. I told her to call me, hopped on a call with her.
Yeah.
5 minutes. We was able to take care of it. I don't mind helping at all.
And she was very patient with me. I told you I'm a newbie.
Yeah. So as patience.
Did
is
she say,
key.
no, that's not the way to do it?
Yeah.
No, ma'am, not at all.
So somebody said, can we do Domino's?
Pizza?
Yes,
Somebody's gonna order
Monique,
pizza?
I seen it. Thank you. No, they're
Somebody's
talking
gonna-
about the extra Domino's. We can,
Oh.
because Father's Day is coming, and that could be a great gift for Father's Day. So we can definitely pencil
Custom
that
Domino?
in.
Anya, what is your group?
So my group is 3D Trendsetters.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, you know what? I gotta back up here. I want to back up here because something really important I forgot that you guys probably want to know about. So on these mirrors, And I'd be interested to know how we do it in Tinkercad too. So maybe tomorrow night we can cover that. But one thing I forgot about was on these mirrors. Let's go ahead and just add some text here. So we don't want that. We want to just be here. So we'll go to our text tool and let's just type in Karen. Okay.
His questions here.
So there's our text. And what I wanted to do, one thing I wanted to talk about, if you don't know how to do it, is how to put the text, like this name, on the back side of our mirror handle. So there's Karen. So back over here. So we're just going to rotate this. So we hit our rotate and spin this bad boy around. And then we do have to flip it. So we have to mirror it. So let's see here. How are we going to do this? It has to do it. Oh, yes, right here. This way. Okay. And then we have to make that 1 mil thick is what I usually do. So we'll make it 1 mil thick. And then we have to shift control the assembly, right? And then we're going to right click and merge. And then if we control 1, that's going to let us look straight down. So then we can just alt click Karen and put it right there on our handle, right?
Yeah.
So now we have to, we merge those together, I believe. Let's look at the assembly. Yes, the text is part of that assembly. So now if we slice this
You got it or something? No. You got it.
on the back side, we personalized it. So think
That's
about
cool.
personalizing it with, a pretty flowers or something on the back side of
And
this.
you can add a couple more bucks for that. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Add $5 more for adding a name on it. So start at 25. Do not be afraid to price. And that's another class that I'm gonna have next week. Profit and margins, pricing, things of that nature. I want to speak on that because I know I get asked a lot how much you charge for this and how you go about your pricing. So if y'all knew me in the sublimation industry, y'all knew I didn't play when it came to my coins. So pricing, profit and margin, that was my thing. So we're gonna get into that next week too.
Yeah, so that was one thing I wanted to touch base on. Of course, we can do that with our keychain too. You could personalize it with the name on the back side of your keychain, the same way. So, and this, this is only 1 millimeter thick. So yes, it's going to have a few more color changes, but look, 17 color changes on the whole mirror. That's not terrible. It really isn't. So 3 hour and 30-minute print time is not that bad. So, yep, that's it. That was it.
Yep. So if you guys don't have any more questions, we can go ahead and wrap. We was not supposed to do this. I got
I know.
Monique. I'm getting ready to knock your shade out, baby. We got too much to work on. So
I thought you were leaving, Anya, because you said you had work to do. I thought
I
you were
know.
leaving.
I listen. The vibe. It was there. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave them. It was a vibe in here. So, but I enjoy 7 o'clock tomorrow. Notepad, pen holder.
Oh, Nick's one. Okay, I guess we're gonna double down on Nick's stuff.
Oh, we got to.
Game 7.
Okay. I gotta get in the lab and get in the creative mindset and figure out what we're gonna bring for the Knicks. But we already got the championship lamps in the work as well. And Steve's gonna knock out the hype chain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for the winners of the game. So, all right. Well, I am starving.
Me too. Me
I
too.
ate all day, y'all. I did this yesterday. Sat here, did eat all day, and was like, "Oh my god!" Then looked at DoorDash, wasn't nothing on there. I hate it. When will this video be available?
Tomorrow it'll be on YouTube. Yep.
All right. So if don't nobody got anything else for us, y'all have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Yep.
Good night. Thank y'all again.
Yep. You're welcome.
Good night.
Yep. All right, Kev. We'll go ahead and link for a debrief.
All right.
Okay.